The Backrooms. You've been here before. Level 206, Bones of Bones. Disclaimer: Level 206 contains visual depictions of skeletons as well as catacombs, written depictions of violence, written depictions of mutilated bodies, general visceral description, death, obviously. If you are disturbed by any of these subjects, read at your own discretion. Date 17/11/2025. Interviewer Holly Clove. Interviewee Michael Corvette. Interview snippet start 3:59 Michael Corvette. No, I'm telling you, miss. I don't know what happened. Holly Clove. Don't give me that. You were found at the Marie graveyard, alone, at the time when we turned the lights off, standing around open graves. Are you just trying to tell me that the bodies vanished? Level 9, the suburbs, is a protected, hostility-free area. What, did something just steal the bodies? Michael Corvette. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. They just vanished. I was just going up there to remember my family, and the ground was all dug, and they were gone. Caskets opened, bodies snatched, all of it. Holly Clove. Yeah, well, there's not exactly much evidence of that now, is there? There was a shovel, desecrated graves, and some disheveled man stood amongst the entire scene. Sure, being in a smaller settlement, you could pass it off as just some unknown entity, but not here. You have a lot more to answer for. Michael Corvette. I, I'm, I'm telling you, the bodies were just, they were gone when I got there. Interview snippet end 452s. Image underscore 0065.png. Image caption. Arrival on level 9. Protocol is to document and photograph the first contact. Initially, I'll admit, I had no idea what she was even on about. Image underscore 0066.png. Image caption. We followed the townsfolk on their way back home to reach the graveyard. When I heard some of the graves in the Portishead village were vandalized, I honestly didn't believe it at first, given how uptight that place is. I assumed its inhabitants were too busy playing polo on the backs of unapproachable horses to even take the time to visit the Marie graveyard. Image underscore 0067.png. Image caption. Got there after about 30 minutes of walking. Took a wrong turn due to bad directions. Got to the graveyard, eventually. It was pretty hard to reach, and actually finding the gate to get into the site was even harder. For some reason, the gate was down an alley between two homes. No wonder no one goes here. We can't even access the stupid thing. Image underscore 0068.png. Image caption. Place isn't so bad. I think reading prenatal stuff really made me not scared of graveyards anymore. Anyways, once we gotten into the graveyard, things were better. It's pretty clear in places that this whole site is just built on the foundations of demolished houses, but that didn't make navigation difficult at all. We moved our way around the graves, and most seemed pretty fine and intact. We both expected something much worse. Image underscore 0069.png. Image caption. It was about here where things got much worse. Image underscore 0070.png. Image caption. This one was cracked. After passing this broken one, we started to find more graves that were tampered with. Initially, it didn't seem like much. Just a few odd, spike-shaped holes in the ground where the headstones were, and a few other cracked sites. But eventually, we started to find actual holes in the ground. They were huge, and looked like they were dug out by hand, too. Image underscore 0076.png. Image caption. I'm not including every image. They got samey after long enough. More broken ones began to pop up, and of course, more holes too. It got to the point where every gravestone was either dug up, had a broken headstone, or both. I'm not sure if the Marie graveyard used caskets, but if they did, they're completely gone too. Same's true for the remains too. I'd say they were ransacked, but there's not even any trace of them here to begin with. Image underscore 0079.png. Image caption. full-on dugout holes, included this picture to show the extent of the damage. Image underscore 0088.png. Image caption. Even after seeing some of the 4.4 crazed state, corpses, skeletons still give me the creeps. She ended up finding a dug grave that still had something inside it, surprisingly. There were two skeletons inside. It seemed to be a sort of double burial, if the headstone was anything to go off of. The skeletons looked decayed and were partially phased through the floor. I guess one's immediate thought would just be that they're old skeletons, but the Marie graveyard isn't a natural level 9, the suburbs, location. Every headstone's either for recent deaths or for people to remember other deaths. There's no way people decomposed this quick in the, at minimum, 4 years it's existed. We bounced around a few ideas and ended up guessing that these bodies had partially no-clipped and been practically skinned and gutted of everything but their bones. Freaky stuff, if you ask me. There's more to know about it, if you'd like me to go into detail. Can you just skip to the part about your colleague's disappearance? Oh, right, of course. Well, she was the one that was ahead of me. I couldn't tell you if she just wanted to get the investigation over and done with, or if she just had some spur to explore. But the point is that after I got this pic, she kept on looking down and wanting to investigate the bodies. I told her it was a bad idea to climb down, since I think she mentioned that, but I don't think she listened. I'm not sure about specifics. I really don't even know what happened myself, but she ended up falling in. Or she jumped in? Hell, maybe she was dragged in. I have no idea, but I just saw her descend into the open grave, screaming and all. When I looked over to see if she was hurt, both her and the skeletons were gone. I didn't know what to do afterwards. You made the right call messaging me about it. Do you have a picture of that open grave after she'd fallen in, and after the skeletons had no-clipped with her? Getting a photo was the last thing I did before leaving. Need me to send it to you? No need, just upload it to the shared folder so I can bring it up to the PA division. I'm not sure if we have a new object, level, entity, or phenomenon at hand, but whatever may be is certainly more than we were bargaining for. And do you think a search party for her will be opened? Mrs. Hanks? Are you still there? Holly0679 h.clove at backroom.com, 6:41 p.m., 2 hours ago, to me. Somalia, please message me back when you can with the reports on the investigation. The person interrogated is begging to be let out of the cell, and I would like to know what to do with them now rather than later. Coral Waitress, s.hanks at backroom.com, 8:17 p.m., 10 minutes ago, to h.clove at backroom.com. Sorry, Holly, just saw this email from you. I spoke to one of our investigators upon their return, since the other ended up going missing during their search through the Marie graveyard. The graves were dug up, but I don't think it's that person's fault. Holly0679 h.clove at backroom.com, 8:18 p.m., 9 minutes ago, to me. Is that what's taken you so long to reply? Coral Waitress, s.hanks at backroom.com, 8:18 p.m., 9 minutes ago, to h.clove at backroom.com. No, that actually wrapped up about 15 minutes after you emailed me. I've just been having a nightmare trying to upload the findings to the PA division. It's been a real painful thing to do since March. Holly0679, h.clove at backroom.com, 8:20 p.m., 7 minutes ago, to me. Right. I don't tackle PA stuff. I wouldn't know. Can you at least fill me in on the details about what happened? Given you mentioning redirecting the findings to the PA office, I'm going to assume it's more than just a one-off grave robbing. Coral Waitress, s.hanks at backroom.com, 8:20 p.m., 7 minutes ago, to h.clove at backroom.com. Well, one of my investigators went missing, as I said. According to Sky Wilkins, she was looking down one of the graves when she fell in, and presumably no-clipped through the floor. Could have just been a one-off coincidence, but the fact that there were two half no-clipped skeletons inside that grave that were gone after she fell makes me think otherwise. I think there's a far bigger picture on our hands. Holly0679, h.clove at backroom.com, 8:23 p.m., 4 minutes ago, to me. And just for the sake of clarity, no other dugout grave had a body in it. Coral Waitress, s.hanks at backroom.com, 8:23 p.m., 4 minutes ago, to h.clove at backroom.com. I was sent around 15 different images of open graves. I really doubt they just missed another filled grave. So, to answer that, yes, no other grave had a body in it. But now, obviously, none of them do. Holly0679, h.clove at backroom.com, 8:23 p.m., 4 minutes ago, to me. You don't need to explain it to me like I'm a child. Just tell me what we're supposed to do with the initial person we interrogated. They're making noise again. Coral Waitress, s.hanks at backroom.com, 8:24 p.m., 3 minutes ago, to h.clove at backroom.com. Move them to house arrest of whatever level or 9 settlement it is they live at, just in case he's somehow connected. Even if it's a slim chance, and one I doubt, you can't be too safe. Holly0679, h.clove at backroom.com, 8:25 p.m., 2 minutes ago, to me. Right, gotcha. I'll do that then. And you do whatever else it is you need to do. Coral Waitress, s.hanks at backroom.com, 8:26 p.m., 2 minutes ago, to h.clove at backroom.com. I probably need to get back to sorting out all my findings to present to the PA division. Them losing a member has really crippled their systems. Holly0679, h.clove at backroom.com, 8:29 p.m., just now, to me. Okay. Reply. Forward. Welcome to the MEOD Media Transcription Archives. You have access to the audio transcribes for the CCTV surveillance footage of Level 4, Abandoned Office, Level 4's PA Archival Office, as per the search guidelines of during 30/11/2025. Disclaimer: the main extended organization database holds the privacy and data of all its inhabitants in the utmost regard, and does all it can to protect said data from any sort of threat, whether they be in-house or otherwise. These recordings, and later hand-translated write-ups, are not intended to act as a breach of privacy. Whilst every submitted video, audio recording, and even other written material is rewritten into the MEG standard format, this is only for the ease of potential investigation into illegal matters, documentation, and a general standard for clarity and uniformity with how media is documented. At no point will the MEOD leak or threaten to leak any confidential information about its inhabitants, nor will its audio and visual transcribes be accessible to those without express authorization. MEOD, acting as one on the behalf of many. Begin log at 10:23 p.m. Date 30/11/25. Location: Level 4's PA Archival Office. Participants: Derek Jett, Active PA Researcher, Sandy Clementine, Part-Time Server Technician, Suzanne Willoughby, Janitor. Derek Jett. Oh, for fuck's sake! Derek Jett looks at his screen, having just seen another email pop through onto his sleek and modern monitor. His eyes squinted, looking down to the monitor to read the newest pop-up. However, the second he did, he threw himself backwards on his chair in anger, causing it to roll away from the desk to a certain degree, and even swivel somewhat towards the likes of Sandy Clementine, who looked over in a brief moment of confused surprise, the two sharing an awkward moment of eye contact. Sandy Clementine, can you not do that, please? Sandy looked down somewhat at Derek, having been stood beside one of the servers that were racked along one side of the room. She was tampering with it, currently replacing a few copper prongs that were responsible for reading the data on their hard drives. Derek Jett. Sandy, I've just had the 8th email about this. This same stupid thing. Sandy Clementine. Maybe that means it's important? Unless it's just spam. Derek Jett. I know it's something important. I have since last week. Just more and more reports of practically the same thing keep popping up. Sandy gives Derek an odd, almost confusedly disgusted look, though her negative gaze begins to turn into one more of a thoughtful nature, moving her mouth into a contemplating frown as she puts her tools on top of the server and promptly moves to look at Derek's monitor. Sandy Clementine. A grave? Oh, a grave robbing. This robbing is, plural, I imagine. Derek Jett. Assuming you mean there's more than one report of it, yeah. all across many levels, all in the past week. Sandy Clementine. Any connections between them happening? Derek Jett. Nope. Some levels that this happens to are barely connected to one another. And can you just leave me to it, please? I've already assigned it as a miscellaneous PA-M. I'm just waiting for one of these emails to actually be something new, not just the same similar images for the umpteenth time. Sandy turns her head to look at Derek, sighing before getting up and moving back to the server she was working at prior, taking back her tools, opening up one of the glass doors for the servers, and beginning anomalous work on another component. Derek Jett. God damn it! Feeling almost defeated, Derek turns around his chair and sits up, beginning to read the email he recently received in greater depth, only taking him about a minute or so to do. Afterwards, he opens up the folder for all PAs, beginning to catalog the new images and general description of the PA-M he assigned the previous grave images to. Derek Jett. Why are they even giving this to me? We don't even know if this is something new we're dealing with. This should go to the anomalous activities, not us. Sandy Clementine. Well, who sent you the emails about these graves? Sandy looked over from her work, her face having turned thoughtful a few moments prior. Derek Jett. I don't know. Important people, I guess? Somalia was the first one to give me an email, and she's been one of the main faces of foreign investigations since the early Meggy times. Sandy Clementine. And the other people? Derek Jett. I don't know. I recognize the names as people high up, but they're not exactly in divisions I would chat with. It's all obscure ones, like I think the second vice deputy for finance and trade, as well as one of the agricultural figureheads in 302. False Sublime. If I knew their faces, I'd recognize them. Suzanne Willoughby. If the face of foreign investigations is messaging the PA department about something new and others follow, chances are the person who's been exploring new things since the 2010s knows what should be given to PA and what should be given to AA. Whilst Derek and Sandy were talking to one another about the subject at hand, Suzanne Willoughby begins to walk through into the room, coming through the door on the far end of the long room, carrying with her a small pocket, from which she summons out a cordless vacuum cleaner. Suzanne's sudden appearance into the room made both Sandy and Derek jump and look over immediately to Suzanne. Derek Jett. Christ, Suzanne! It's not 10:30 already, is it? Suzanne Willoughby. Afraid it is, Jet. Overworking another day, huh? Same thing as yesterday? Derek Jett. Yeah, same as yesterday. In bewilderment, Derek looks over to Sandy, having his mouth somewhat agape as he presumably attempts to silently convey his confusion at Suzanne knowing about what he was overworking about. Shrugging it off, however, Sandy disregards his confusion, instead choosing to try to speak to Suzanne as she begins to set her hoover into motion on the carpeted floors. Sandy Clementine. Suzanne, you said something when you came in. What was it? Despite the hoover making the sound of voices a rather difficult task to hear, Suzanne still looks up regardless at Sandy. Presumably, having heard her, she decided to move a notch down on her hoover, seemingly making it quieter. Suzanne Willoughby. Yeah, I did. No need to shout about it. I'm just assuming that if every person sending you to a message is of important stature, and if they're following an example of someone who's dealt with new shit their whole life, they'll have the intuition to know who to give it to. Derek Jett. Even if Somalia's getting on a little bit in age? Suzanne looks across to Jet, giving them a puzzled, almost insulted look, something seemingly shared by Sandy as well, which Derek learned when he looked over to her, sighing afterwards in a bit of guilt. Derek Jet. Okay, yeah, that was a stupid thing to say. Suzanne Willoughby. Move your chair for me? As Suzanne spoke, she moves her vacuum over to in front of her, nudging it towards Derek's chair. With a quick movement, Derek kicks his feet back to get the office chair, and by extension, himself, away from where Suzanne was wanting to hoover. Once Derek had moved, Suzanne was quick to reactivate the previous power outlet she was using on the vacuum before, and began to tackle under Derek's desk. Suzanne Willoughby. I don't know how much worth my opinion on the matter is, but if you want my guess on this, I think it's a new level and a new entity, or multiple entities more likely. After a second or two more of hoovering, and after both Derek and Sandy both shared a brief, surprised gaze, Suzanne decided to put a hold on her hoovering and retracted back her hoover to put back within her pocket. Suzanne Willoughby, you two are probably still busy, so I'll give you another hour to wrap up this stuff before I come back. I'd rather not get in your way. Once putting her Hoover away, and once she began to turn around and eventually leave the archival office altogether, Sandy immediately stood up straight and moved to Derek's desk. There, she places her hands onto Derek's desk, somewhat leaning over at his side to look at the monitor, then to Derek. Sandy Clementine, what levels have been affected by these grave robbings? Derek looked up to Sandy, seemingly starting to catch the same train of thought she was having. He sat up on his chair again, bringing his keyboard and mouse closer towards himself as he begins to navigate the files on his monitor, only taking a short amount of time to find the compiled folder of every single PA request directed to him. Derek Jett, PAs, PA-Ms, sort by descending order. Ah, there we go. So, on PA-M54's topic, there have been these body snatching incidents on EL3A. Note, see significant room of level 2, office space EL3A. 29, Hyperion. 121, The Fading Islands. 94, Motion. 309, The Fog in the Path. 138, Golden Guy. And I just got one today for 125, Legacy Lane. Sandy Clementine. Those are all pretty lived-in levels, right? Derek Jett. Oh, yeah. I want to say the towns and outposts on those levels are all pre-grouping era, so they have been there for years, at least. Far longer than the graveyard Somalia's people looked at. Sandy Clementine. Oh, well then, in that case, let's get a look at the plans for their various bases. We can figure out even more that way. Though initially Derek seems quick to act, he stops himself after a moment of flickering around his mouse to reach another folder, sighing slowly and looking over to Sandy. Derek Jett. Shit. I won't be able to, actually. If I want to know the maps of their settlements, I'll have to speak to the mayors of each one. I can't access it without their approval. Sandy Clementine. Really? I mean, unless you just email the main director of settlement planning. Derek Jett. Jesus Christ, you want me to just message one of the largest members in the organization? What the hell are the chances they'll even see it? Sandy Clementine. Holy hell, calm down. The chances are probably quite high. You're a big researcher. It's not out of the question for you to message people that are important, even if they're a big cheese. Derek Jett. Right? No, you're correct. Sorry, this situation's got me in a right state. You should go home, Sandy. I'll message who I need to, and we can finish this up in the morning. It's late for both of us. Sandy Clementine. Yeah, I'll start heading off. I do appreciate you wanting to keep working on this with me, though. I'm not even in the PA team. Derek Jett. You've been a help to me. Without you and Suzanne, I'd probably still be trying to wrap my head over things. Plus, it's just me in the office now, ever since Melody. Sandy Clementine. I know what happened. You just finish up and get some sleep yourself. I'll come down an hour early to match the time you start so that we can get cracking on this. Derek Jett. Yeah, I like that. You should join PA team, honestly. You seem really good at it. Sandy Clementine. Maybe I'll consider it then. Would be more interesting than my technical work, that's for sure. See ya, though. I'm gonna get to sleep. Derek Jett. As you should. See you tomorrow. After Derek spoke, Sandy gave a bit of grin to him, getting her hands off of his desk and turning around to begin leaving, picking up her tools as she waves at him before stepping out of the PA office entirely. Derek watched on somewhat, having a half smile enveloped on his face. He chose to turn around afterwards, looking back to his laptop as he began to draft up an email. End log at 10:49 p.m. DJ d.jet at backroom.com, 10:55 p.m. yesterday. To h.donaldsby at backroom.com. Hi, I'm currently writing to you on behalf of Level 4, Abandoned Office, Level 4's branch of the PA Investigation Team. We've been dealing with a new miscellaneous PA, and we believe we have found a new lead to do with general size of towns, their populations, and how many buried members of the deceased they contain. Would you be willing to hand over the documentation for town planning, as well as the obituary documents for the following civilizations on these levels? Level 2, abandoned utility halls, specifically for office space EL3A. Level 9, the suburbs. Level 29, Hyperion. Level 94, Motion. Level 121, the Fading Islands. Level 125, Legacy Lane. Level 138, Golden Guy. Level 309, The Fog in the Path. Thank you in advance for your time, sir. David Jett, PA Team. Mr. Harvey Dew, h.donaldsby at backrooms.com, 5 o'clock a.m., 2 hours ago, to me. Ah, yes, of course. Greetings from 436, Salvaged Seaboard, as well. I haven't revisited Level 4, Abandoned Office, in a long time. I do hope things are going well in your part of the Backrooms. Let me compile what you have asked, and they will be sent to you by me the second I've gathered everything you need. Mr. Harvey Dew, h.donaldsby at backroom.com, 5:19 a.m., 2 hours ago, to me. Here is what you requested. File C users Harvey Dew documents obituary %20 documents %20 4% 20 4% 20 the %20 researcher.pdf. DJ d.jet at backroom.com, 6 o'clock a.m., 1 hour ago, to h.donaldsby at backroom.com. Ah, thank you, sir. You'll be glad to know that Level 4 is doing just fine. I greatly appreciate your response. Mr. Harvey Dew, h.donaldsby at backroom.com, 6:04 a.m., 1 hour ago, to me. No problem. Always happy to give information to those needing it. Mr. Harvey Dew, h.donaldsby at backroom.com, 6:08 a.m., 1 hour ago, to me. I must ask, though, Mr. Jet, is this to do with the grave robbings? DJ, d.jet at backroom.com, 6:10 a.m., 1 hour ago, to h.donaldsby at backroom.com. Oh, you know of those? Mr. Harvey Dew, h.donaldsby at backroom.com, 6:10 a.m., 1 hour ago, to me. Unfortunately, I do. We had a bit of a tragedy at the pier a few years back, and we buried those affected. We woke up today to the graves opened and empty. I thought it was just us, but if the PA department is looking into similar cases on other levels, then I assume this is not just us experiencing it. DJ, d.jet at backroom.com, 6:11 a.m., 1 hour ago, to h.donaldsby at backroom.com. My apologies, sir. Well, in that case, we do have a large issue of graves being dug up. Were all of them desecrated? Mr. Harvey Dew, h.donaldsby at backroom.com, 6:12 a.m., 1 hour ago, to me. Not all of them, no. We lost 20 people from the shrinking incident and buried them across 14 graves. From those, I think about 9 of those 14 were dug up. DJ, d.jet at backroom.com, 6:14 a.m., 1 hour ago, to h.donaldsby at backroom.com. Wait, can you explain that to me a little bit more? Why did you only dig 14 graves if there were more people than that who died? Mr. Harvey Dew, h.donaldsby at backroom.com, 6:14 a.m., 1 hour ago, to me. Ah, right. A fair few of the deceased were couples, and we thought it to be fitting to bury them together. We passed it through Captain, and he said it was a good enough idea. DJ, d.jet at backroom.com, 6:14 a.m., 1 hour ago, to h.donaldsby at backroom.com. I'm sorry for your losses, sir. DJ, d.jet at backroom.com, 6:20 a.m., 59 minutes ago, to h.donaldsby at backroom.com. Oh, actually, I have an idea. Could you check the graves to see how many of the double graves were desecrated? Mr. Harvey Dew, h.donaldsby at backroom.com, 6:21 a.m., 58 minutes ago, to me. If it'll help you figure out what's going on, of course. I will not pretend like the ask isn't a strange one, but I'll let you know what I find. You will have to be patient, of course. The graves are at the coastline, so I need to walk there and back to be able to tell you. It will be around 20 minutes. DJ D.Jet at backroom.com, 6:21 a.m., 58 minutes ago. To H.Donaldsby at backroom.com. Don't worry about it, sir. I'll wait patiently for your return. Mr. Harvey do. H.Donaldsby at backroom.com, 6:50 a.m., 29 minutes ago. To me. Apologies for the fact I took longer than expected. However, from my looking, it appears that every double grave was ransacked. There wasn't any extra damage to them in comparison to the singular burial sites, but it remains true that every double burial is now empty of its bodies. DJ D.Jet at backroom.com, 6:51 a.m., 27 minutes ago. To H.Donaldsby at backroom.com. I had a hunch that would be the case, just to make sure there were graves that were left untouched, right? Mr. Harvey do. H.Donaldsby at backroom.com, 6:51 a.m., 27 minutes ago. To me. Indeed, Mr. Jet. Only a few were left alone, mind you, but you are correct. DJ D.Jet at backroom.com, 6:52 a.m., 26 minutes ago. To H.Donaldsby at backroom.com. Just as I figured. Well, thank you for your time, sir. You have a good day. Mr. Harvey too. H.Donaldsby at backroom.com, 6:53 a.m., 25 minutes ago. To me. Likewise. God bless you. Reply. Forward. Begin log at 7 o'clock a.m. Date 01/12/25. Location Level 4 Abandoned Office. Level 4's PA Archival Office. Participants Derek Jett, Active PA Researcher. Sandy Clementine, Part-time Server Technician. Derek Jett. It's an artificial level! Derek suddenly makes a rather loud announcement into the small PA room as he entered for the day, approaching a somewhat tired-looking Sandy, who is sitting on a desk different to Derek's working on some software updates for their PA storage. Derek's announcement causing her to jump in surprise, almost shrieking as she looked over at Derek, quickly settling as her tension wavered. Sandy Clementine. Huh? What's a what level? Derek Jett. The digging up of bodies? I spoke to the director of settlement planning before I left. He gave me the files I wanted, and he told me something which made everything click. Intrigued, Sandy raised her eyebrow at Derek, leaning back somewhat and pushing her chair outwards from her desk, looking upwards at Derek, afterwards with a hand on her chin. Sandy Clementine. Huh, really? Well, go on. You've sparked my intrigue. Derek nodded, deciding to move over to his chair and pull it away from his desk, and promptly sit down opposite to Sandy, taking out his phone and displaying to her the messages with Harvey Donaldsby that he had prior to his work. Derek Jett. He lives on level 436, salvaged seaboard, right now, and experienced the grave desecration thing last night. I remember in Somalia's original email to me, she mentioned a double grave with two partially no-clipped bodies, and then one of her investigators caused them to fully no-clip, causing her to fall in too. Sandy Clementine. Okay, yeah, I'm following so far. Derek Jett. Right. Well, when I spoke to Harvey, he said that there were a few double burials in 436, and that they were all robbed. However, not all of the singular ones were. Sandy Clementine. Were all the ones in 9, the suburbs, and those other places also robbed of all their double burials, as you called it? Derek Jett. That I'm not sure of. I don't really have the information to really know. However, if that double grave in the Marie graveyard had a partially no-clipped double burial, then that means it was probably meant to be abducted like all the other doubles. Maybe the no-clip screwed up? Sandy Clementine. That'd mean that the people doing this would be able to control no-clip. Then how likely is that? Derek Jett. We used to deal with spec back in the day, and the speed no-clippers. Controlled no-clipping isn't the most out there concept. Sandy Clementine. Good point. How do you know that means they're building something? Why would anyone use dead bodies to build with? Derek Jett. They want a greater quantity of bodies, so that's why I'm positive a level is being built here. No idea why they're using bodies, though. But I think levels like 211, stomach lining, 826, sea of bones, and 204.1, the Kabbalistic catacombs, show that it's not out of the question for bodies to be used as a main building material for a level. Point is, though, I think we have enough information to ask for an investigation. Sandy Clementine, I assume a more hands on one? You've already been doing a fair bit of research on this yourself. Derek Jett. By investigation, I mean trying to reach whatever they're building. Can't think how to, though. Sandy Clementine. No clip, maybe? It's what's being done to steal these bodies in the first place, and it's how someone went missing, too, right? Derek Jett. One of the original responders, yeah. I think we should speak to Somalia and attempt to get a direct exploration of the PA-M. Sandy Clementine. How'd we even get there, though? Only whoever's stealing the bodies can get in and out of whatever they're building. Derek Jett. Apart from those two skeletons that were stuck in the ground, which means it's not always a reliable clipping process. If we. Derek stops himself briefly, sighing contemplatively as he leans back in his chair, staring forwards into space for a moment as he lets his mind wander on what to do next. Derek Jett. We caught that 9, the suburbs, failed clip because we had people on the scene just a few hours after discovering what had happened. If we can get people on site to where the next robbery will be, we could possibly get someone to no-clip into the level the same time a body does. Sandy Clementine. Do we know where the next strike will be? Derek Jett. Ha, not the slightest fucking clue. I'll speak to Harvey again, as well as Somalia. The places being vandalized are all very lived-in levels, so I'll get more residency information from Harvey and speak to Somalia after that in order to organize teams on whatever seems most likely for another robbery. Sandy Clementine. Need me to leave you be so you can go do that? Derek Jett. Not really? Unless you've got super important stuff to get doing, we can work together on the messaging. Sandy Clementine. Work can wait. May as well get a bit of practice for being on PA team. It's clear you want me on it. Derek chuckles, giving an almost playful shrug as he decides to move his chair back over to his desk, tilting his head over for Sandy to come and sit at the desk as well. She seems apprehensive, at least for a moment, but she moves over to the desk and sat nearby, to Derek, to look at the monitor. End log at 7:22 a.m. SH Diary, 1st of December, 2025. File, edit, view, insert, format, tools, add-ons, help. Last edit was 7 hours ago. Look at that, huh? First day of December. Before I know it, I'll be having to buy gifts for Jason, Molly, and Esther for Christmas. I do have to somewhat blame Jason for introducing the kids to Christmas. Lord knows we're gonna have to hide the existence of the gift plane so they don't beg us to go there. Still, though, their faces when I got them what they wanted last year was pretty priceless for both of us. I realize I'm getting distracted. This past week has been tough, to say the least. I'm clearly not as agile as I used to be, which I've known for a long time. Hell, I'll never forget Andrew's words to me when he said I was no longer permitted to do field investigation after I twisted my ankle. I'm getting old. God, I miss him. More and more reports have been coming through about the same thing Sky and... Lord, I've forgotten her name. Sky and the other researcher I sent out after the Marie graveyard was vandalized. No one's gone missing like the girl has, thankfully, but I feel so bad for all the heartbreak what's happening must have caused for the families of the dead. I know that the people who messaged me on 309, the fog in the path, were completely devastated, especially since my selenium graves were also desecrated. I kept a neutral writing tone and told them to redirect to the PA team, as I did with everyone else who sent in things similar, but it still hits hard. At the very least, I hope that this will be coming to an end soon. Apparently, the PA investigation team on Level 4, Abandoned Office, found a few leads on where this could happen next, and that we could get passage into wherever the bodies are being taken to. With the help of some assistants, and Jason to actually keep me focused, I've been able to set up multiple teams of 3 that will be set up at 11.1, Private Enterprise, 186, The Infinite Valley, 194, You Wouldn't Download a Rainforest, 230, The Port of Misgivings, and 260, Aurora Liminalis. Not all of the teams have actually arrived at where they need to be, Apparently, it was mistimed to what time is considered winter inside of 557, snow globe, which means Group 5 is having to go the 118, camp, approach to reach 260, Aurora Liminalis, instead. After that, however, all teams should be ready with ears open. I really wish I could say I was confident in saying, this plan will work, but I don't have that same trust in me that I used to. I'm getting old, and whilst the Backrooms has kept me looking mostly like a spring chicken, I won't deny that my cognitive abilities are starting to falter. Either that, or I'm just growing bad at my job. I led the initial search into PA 98, and somehow missed a horrific entity and misclassified it as somewhere completely safe. I wasn't present when everything with the prenatal went down, and now, here I am, being tasked with sending out explorers across 5 different levels. At this point, I hope old age just takes me. This is Somalia Hanks, attempting text based communications with Group 4 on level 230, the Port of Misgivings. Please respond. Fritz Opal, Group Leader and Comms Head, standing 50 yards of the former FTB's Millennium gravesite. This is Alex Patter, testing in from besides Fritz Opal. I'm the field investigator for today, assuming we actually get into this unknown place. I'm sure we will. Oh, and Lake Kelzer, MEOD archivist. I'm in charge of receiving and relaying information to both of you, and to the external servers. Okay, excellent. Please post picture or video proof of your location, just for standard procedure. Image underscore 0003.png. Image caption. All images are going to be taken by Alex from here on out. They'll be the one needing the camera the most. Picture has come through. Can you all activate your radios briefly so I can know those are operational too? Date 02/12/2025. Audio start. Alex Patter. Is the radio on? Fritz Oppler. Works well at a close range. I can hear you, Alex. Somalia Hanks. Operates long range, too. I can hear you relatively well from 11. The Endless City. Lake Kesler. If you miss any information due to any long range crackling, I'll send you the transcribe so far so you're not in the dark. Somalia Hanks. Thanks, Lake. Right, well, it seems everything for investigation is all properly operational? Do you have your worn sack and rope inside? Lake Kesler. We do. I'm carrying them. Somalia Hanks. Excellent. Switch the radios from always active to push to talk, and you have my authorization to move inwards. Audio end. Right. We have moved to the entrance of the site. Seems quiet. Just a few individuals at the entrance. Didn't seem too fazed by us. Right, good. Any anomalies so far, you three? None as of yet. It's all just quiet and cold. Maybe it's because we're near the Shantylands? People rarely come back from there. People don't, sure, though I think we'll be fine here. We're on the border to that area, and close to Homely Hotel. Just be sure to keep me in the loop, and also make sure to keep getting images of your investigation. Oh, we have been, and Kate's been keeping up to date on the transcribing, too. We'll send one over. Just a second. Image underscore 0004.png, image caption. This one was taken right as we entered. Still nothing, even after around 15 or so minutes. Are the other groups having much luck? Unfortunately not, Alex. EL3A, note, see significant room of level 2, office space EL3A. EL3A's grave area has even been fully explored. That team's doing a second round trip to see if anything's happened since their last scout around. Well, crap! Should we keep getting images for you? Absolutely, please. It's to be thorough in case we miss anything. Just be sure to leave enough memory and battery life for if you're able to arrive at what we're trying to get to. I'll keep the photo taking somewhat sparse then. We'll let you know when something happens. Messaging in to confirm that we are still active, but just not finding anything new, even at the 1 hour mark. We've briefly sat down to eat some food we brought, but made sure to keep our ears open for any sounds of digging or any activity. We haven't actually seen another person since those people loitering at the entrance, so any sound we hear is either an entity from the level's outskirts or the much needed activity we want. Any news from other groups? Their activity is just as quiet as yours, I'm afraid. 186. the Infinite Valley. 186's group has even had a falling out from what I've heard from Kelly Patters. At least you're not in their position, Lake. Definitely sounds like I don't want to be in their group. Either myself or the others will probably fill you in hourly on what happens. Thank you, Lake. Keep yourself safe. Another hour's passed. Still no activity. Yet another quiet hour. Image underscore 0009.png. Image caption. Kind of realize that you may want photo evidence to prove unintelligible, uncommon for an entity to hijack a tablet and pretend to be. Checking in again. Still nothing on our end. 6 hours in. No activity. Kate? Are you there? Another hour's passed, but you haven't said anything. Kate? Alex? Fritz? Are you there? Apologies. Yes. Right before we were going to message you, we actually found signs of one of the areas we explored previously being dug up. It all looks really freshly dug, too. Image underscore 0010.png. Image caption. The grave toppling over is how we were alerted that something happened. Are you noticing anything irregular about the dug hole? Perhaps a way to no-clip at the bottom of it? Just kicked a stone down into the pit. Didn't no-clip or anything, unfortunately. At the very least, I'm sure there'll be other diggings happening around you. Keep vigilant, and keep communication by text so you can better hear your surroundings. Understood. Let's head out. Do you hear that? I think I did. Sounded like scuttling, almost. We're moving in on the position as we type. I think we're approaching something, Somalia. There's a collection of dug graves just ahead of us. I think the ground in front of another one's moving. It's just sinking. Or the surface soil is no-clipping. This may be our chance. I'm going to get a photo, attach the rope around my waist, then see what we'll do next. Date 02/12/2025. Audio start. Fritz Opal. Shit, he fell in! Somalia Hanks. What? Do you mean Alex? Is he okay? Fritz Opal. We don't know. He was getting the picture of the hole in the ground, and he just collapsed inside. He clipped and everything. Somalia Hanks. Fuck! We can't have lost a second person. Please, tell me he still has the camera. Was he at least tied? Lake Kessler. He was tied. I put the rope around him just in case. We're just yet to hear from him on the other end. Fritz Opal. If there even is another end, he hasn't texted or come through on the radio yet. Somalia Hanks. Try not to panic, okay? Wait an extra minute before anyone attempts to go down with them. Has the rope been cut? Or is it no-clipping too? Lake Kessler. The rope's no-clipped with him. We gave it a small tug and the rope just flowed through the dirt like water. He is not dead or anything, just unresponsive, possibly unconscious. Audio end. Image underscore 0011.png. Image caption. Add a caption within the camera settings. Wait, Alex? Did you send that? Date 02/12/2025. Audio start. Alex Patter. Did that image come through? Somalia Hanks. It has. Are you hurt? Do you need someone else to come in with you? Alex Patter. No, I'm okay. Mostly. I'm not sure what happened, but I got dragged into this dugout grave. I actually landed on the pile of dirt that also no-clipped, but my tablet's broken, and I think I've injured my arm somewhat too. Somalia Hanks. I'll trust your judgment, Alex. Since your tablet's broken, can you at least describe where you currently are to us? Alex Patter. It's a tunnel, Mrs. Hanks. There's a bit stuffy, and it's all chalky. I've been making my way down it, and whilst it's sort of taking a turn to the left, it's basically just a straight line at the moment. No other routes to take. Fritz Opal. Please be okay for us. Don't get yourself into danger. Alex Patter. I only have so far I can go because of the rope. Regardless, I'll be fine, Fritzy. Somalia Hanks. You should turn your radio from push to talk to always active, Alex. Just because you don't have the tablet anymore and you're in quite a dangerous area. Can you provide us with another update when you get to the end of the hall? Alex Patter. Unless this is just an endless hallway level. I'll be sure to, Mrs. Hanks. Audio ends. Image underscore 0012.png. Image caption. Finally reached the end of the corridor. Date 02/12/2025. Audio start. Alex Patter. Okay, I'm at the end of this hallway now. It turned 2 extra times, but I stayed basically the same. Only issue is, now I'm in a room with a lot of empty doorways and halls, and I'm unsure which way to really go. Should I just chance it? Somalia Hanks. Well, describe the area you're at right now. Is there anything of note about any of the hallways? Alex Patter. It's, well, it's sort of a square shaped area. There's one larger corridor in front of me, and 3 other hallways behind me, like the one I just came from. Fritz Opel. Certainly an odd design. Is there anything else in there? Other halls? Notable features? Alex Patter. On the image, there's another entryway into a different hallway. It looks the same as the other hallway I just came from, but, shorter, I guess? Somalia Hanks. Shorter how? Alex Patter. Well, the hallway I was in is about 20 meters long, give or take. The one to my left, well, it was my right when I got out, the original hallway. It's approximately the same length, but it seems to only turn once. I can see the end of the hallway from here. Somalia Hanks. What about the other hallways? Can you see their endings? Alex Patter. I'll have a check. Alex Patter. Nope. However long the corridor goes on for is obstructed by the third bend. However, they do look awfully similar to one another, mostly descending down in size, while still having 3 bends each. Somalia Hanks. Is that the case for each of these corridors, even the bigger one? Alex Patter. Oh, no, actually, it's not. It's sort of similar to that left doorway in the sense that I think I only see one bend, but it's wider and. Oh, Fritz Opel. Alex? What's wrong? Audio end. Image underscore 0013.png. Image caption. I don't even know what to make of this. Date 02/12/2025. Audio start. Somalia Hanks. Those are. Gosh. Lake Kessler. It looks like a catacomb. Alex Patter. I think it is one. At least, mostly. I guess we've learned what the grave snatching is for. Fritz Opel. To build with? That feels like an odd choice. Alex Patter. You're right, but there's a lot of bones here, even for the amount of graves robbed. About 15 or so graves robbed across 8 levels. That's over 100 bodies, so. Fritz Opel. That would still be over 20,000 or so bones. If anything, there's not enough bones for this place. Alex Patter. Look at the size and type of these bones, though. There's hundreds of larger bones, and probably around 20 or 30 skulls. There's more remains here than the ones stolen from the graves. Somalia Hanks. You're sure about that? We don't fully know how many double graves there were. Maybe those skulls add up to enough bones? Alex Patter. Oh god. It absolutely does not, miss. Audio ends. Image underscore 0014.png. Image caption. Add a caption within the camera settings. Date 02/12/2025. Audio start. Lake Kessler. Holy shit. How many more bodies is that? Alex Patter. Counted the skulls. Double the amount of total bodies we even knew were missing in the first place. Worst part is, it continues on, too. Somalia Hanks. Continues on? How do you mean? Alex Patter. Well, I'm in a sort of circular room. Cylindrical, I think is the proper way to describe it. Bones all around most of the walls, but there's a doorway on either side. One's where I came from, and the other, I haven't been up yet. but it looks exactly identical. Somalia Hanks. How identical is it? Audio end. Image underscore 0015.png. Image caption. Completely identical. Date 02 slash 12 slash 2025. Audio start. Somalia Hanks. That's dozens more. How many do you think there are in total? Alex Patter. I've got no idea, frankly. I don't think I've explored enough of this place yet to really know. I figure I've probably passed bones from hundreds of bodies, though. No idea where the rest of the skulls could have gone. Fritz Opel. What about the smaller bones, too? Lake Kessler. Shit. Huh. Maybe there's a disposal point for the bones? They do all just look like limb bones. Maybe ribs? Fritz Opel. And skulls. Obviously. Lake Kessler. Right. But regardless, as you said, Fritz, the smaller bones on a body aren't anywhere to be seen. Alex Patter. I'll keep a lookout for anything of the sort. I'm just heading through the second hallway now. So I'll send another photo whenever I see anything interesting. Somalia Hanks. Thank you, Alex. You sound off. Are you okay? Alex Patter. Fine. Fine. At least fine enough to keep up this exploration. Audio end. Image underscore 0016.png. Image caption. It's like the previous oval room, but sort of built different, I suppose. Date 02 slash 12 slash 2025. Audio start. Lake Kessler. Wait, different how? Fritz Opel. Lake? What do you mean? What's different? Lake Kessler. Alex's most recent image. Its caption says the room is different. Alex Patter. Yeah, yeah, I, I did. It's not all that different. It's more so just the location of the next hallway isn't where it was before. It's off to the right now, sat basically at a 90-degree angle to the other doorway. Somalia Hanks. Is there anything strange down that other hallway? There's no other ways to go to, I imagine. Alex Patter. Not a thing, besides the eerie as fuck bones. Although, there may be a an intersection? A four-way one, too. I'm going to move in and take a look. Somalia Hanks. Just to be safe, we still haven't found what's stolen the bones, just where they've ended up. There could very easily be entities down there, and we only have so much rope for you, too. Alex Patter. I'll be fine. I'm moving inwards, you lot. Be prepared to send through a lot more rope. Lake Kessler. Honestly, if it wasn't for the fact it's keeping the ground non-clippable, I don't think we'd even need it. Audio end. Image underscore 0017.png. Image caption. I went down that intersection and found this. Date 02 slash 12 slash 2025. Audio start. Lake Kessler. No more bones, it looks. Is that good? Alex Patter. It's different, and certainly less creepy, too. Now it's just eerie liminal, which I suppose is a step up. Somalia Hanks. Do you need someone else to go down with you? Alex Patter. No, no, Mrs. Hanks. I'll be fine. Though I will try to hurry the pace of my exploration along, if that's okay. I'll try not to miss anything. Somalia Hanks. Don't worry about it. If you can, though, try to find a natural exit to the level you're in. Hopefully that way we can hope to find an entrance as well. Alex Patter. I've been attempting to look for one as I've been walking. It's standard procedure. Oh, and you forgot to ask, but I'm assuming you're wanting to know the description of the room. Each one here seems pretty important. Somalia Hanks. Ack! Good point. Sorry, should have asked. Alex Patter. No worries. It's a pretty simple room to describe, at least. It's just a very long corridor the middle area with the doorway back to the intersection is made a lot narrower by these walls going along the middle, and they section off the areas that go to other hallways. And, there's a lot of other hallways to go to. Somalia Hanks. How many do you count? Alex Patter. 7 on each side, so I suppose 14 in total. However, the doors to other areas end before the main hallway does, but it goes completely pitch black down there. Somalia Hanks. That sounds too dangerous to risk going down alone. Get a picture of it for documentation, and instead go down one of the other routes instead. I assume they actually have lights? Alex Patter. They do, yeah. I'll head down each one, get my findings, and post them one by one. I'll be on the radio if anything unique pops up. Audio end. Image underscore 0019.png. Image caption. First one's nothing special. The hallway didn't even bend like some of the others do. It just went forwards and ended eventually. Image underscore 0020.png. Image caption. Went to the one below the hallway I initially entered. Went on for a little longer, but ended just like the last one. Image underscore 0021.png. Image caption. Moved to the opposite side of the hallway. Given the last two hallways incomprehensible, were duds, and went nowhere. Unfortunately, this one was exactly the image underscore 0022.png. Image caption. Just another dead end. Image underscore 0027.png. Image caption. I haven't posted every image, since they've all been the same. I've now explored 10 of the 14. Date 02/12/2025. Audio start. Fritz Opal. Do we really need to look through any more now? If 10 out of 14 are looked through, then I think it's safe to say they're all the same. Somalia Hanks. Which order did you look at them? If you did it left to right, maybe the bottom 2 rows of hallways have something of importance? Alex Patter. They don't, Mrs. Hanks. I chose the halls randomly after the first 3 were dead ends. Each one since then has been just the same. Different lengths, mind you, but dead ends all the same. Somalia Hanks. In that case, Fritz is right. I don't think we need to check any more routes. What other areas can you explore for us then? Alex Patter. There's the way downwards that goes pitch black, which you said could be dangerous, and the other 2 avenues back at that intersection. Fritz Opal. In that case, maybe head up to that intersection? It's lit. There are more ways to go, and I hope it'll be safer for you. Alex Patter. I think I prefer that option over going into the unlit portion. Heading back to the crossroads. Which way should I go? Fritz Opal. Well, from the perspective of the room you first came from, which hallway did you come from at that intersection? Alex Patter. The left side, Fritzy. Leaves my other potential routes as going up, or going right. Fritz Opal. Try going right? When you reach the end, give us another picture to show off what's there. Alex Patter. Don't worry, will do. Audio end. Image underscore 0028.png. Image caption. It's the same as the room on the other side. Circular, incomprehensible, one I came from. It goes right down in the same sort of date. 02/12/2025. Audio start. Fritz Opal. Wait, it's the same design? Did you go down the right corridor? Alex Patter. No. The bones are differently organized, and the room's not exactly the same as the one I came from. It's more like a mirror of it, I suppose. Lake Kessler. Is there even much of a point in going down it in that case? If it really is exactly the same, that is. Do you think it is? Alex Patter. Without a doubt, yeah. Different bones, same layout. I think I can just skip straight to the final hull of this level. Lake Kessler. You know, actually, you bring up a good point. What kind of level is this? Fritz Opal. Assuming it is actually a level? Lake Kessler. It is a level, and definitely a new one, too. I could understand some unassuredness on it beforehand, but what Alex has shown us is undoubtedly new. Alex Patter. Let's hope. Just to ask, it's definitely not 204.1, the Kabbalistic catacombs, is it? That level's also catacombs. Lake Kessler. Definitely not. At least, I don't think. Fritz Opal. Can't be. It's only accessible from 204. The Grand Jungle. That much has been true for years. Plus, you need one of those masks to get inside, which I don't imagine you have. Alex Patter. I certainly hope I don't. We're all in agreement it's a new level, though. Fritz Opal. After Lake's comment, absolutely. I guess it'd just be hard to decide what to class it as. Alex Patter. I assume if you mean it's a normal, sub, or enigmatic. Fritz Opal. Heh, yeah. Which do you think? Alex Patter. Personally, I don't know. I'm torn between the three. It could just be some random place where skeletons are being put. Uh, I don't know. And 826, Sea of Bones, sublevel? Or we could even go enigmatic if we're feeling pretentious enough to go for a unique name. Lake Kessler. You'd probably get to name it if it does turn out to be enigmatic. Alex Patter. Well, I hope I'll get to name it anyways. Oh, I'm at the intersection now. I'll tell you what I find. Audio end. Image underscore 0029.png. Image caption. Posting this picture because I think the exit sign is funny. Date 02/12/2025. Audio start. Lake Kessler. Wait, what are those things on the floor? Alex Patter. Lake? What do you mean? Sorry, I wasn't expecting the radio to flare up for a second. Can you repeat that? Lake Kessler. The little pebbles on the floor. Have they been in other pictures? Alex Patter. Probably. I mean, they just look like rocks, and we're already in a cave sort of place. Seems like fitting set dressing. Fritz Opal. There. Can you check them out? At least, Lake's got a hunch about them. Alex Patter. Oh, yeah, of course then. Give me a second. Fritz Opal. Thank you. Alex Patter. Okay. Well, I'm looking at them. They seem to be kinda standard looking stones. A little bit rough looking, mind. Kind of reminds me of those rocks on, Somalia Hanks. Alex? You've cut out. What's wrong? Can you still hear us? Alex Patter. I haven't cut out. Just. Sorry. I freaked out. These little rocks are also bones. Just smaller ones, I guess. I guess we know where those went. Oh, oh shit. No, 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 no! Somalia Hanks and Fritz Opal. Alex? Alex Patter. The little bones are. Well, I thought they were buried into the floor. Lake Kessler. Are they not? Are they no clipped? Alex Patter. Lake, they are the floor. The bones and the floor blend in after long enough. It's all bones. Pulverized ones, I guess. But it is all bones. It explains why this is all so chalky and brittle. Fucking hell. Fritz Opal. Whoa, hey, calm down. Just take a breather for me. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. You've got this, Alex. Alex Patter. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. I'm gonna press on best I can and send an image of what's down here first and foremost. Audio end. Image underscore 0030.png. Image caption. Here we are. Date 02/12/2025. Audio start. Lake Kessler. Is that all that's actually down that hallway? Alex Patter. No, it's not. Sorry, it is just a bit cramped is all. The halls come to a bit of an awkward point. There's a lot of stray bones along the floor here, and it's making walking difficult. The hallway itself has split off in two directions as well, going left and right. The wall in front of me also seems to have a cutout area on either side of this fork, too. I'll check left first. Somalia Hanks. Thanks. Good, thorough explanation. I hope Lake's getting all of this down for the transcript. You're moving fast with your info. Alex Patter. I can slow down if need be. Just trying to get this over and done with right now. Still somewhat on edge. Somalia Hanks. I understand. And I really hope the rest of us here do too. We're ready to pull you out when your exploration's done. Audio end. Image underscore 0031.png. Image caption. The way the patterns around the eyes look is screwing with my sense of what's up and down. Date 02/12/2025. Audio start. Alex Patter. Before anyone asks, if anyone was even going to, I took a look down the other side as well. This weird pattern and hole in the wall is present on the other side. It's just flipped over to be symmetrical. Fritz Opal. Odd. Somalia Hanks. Forgive my older eyes. What is it I'm looking at exactly? Alex Patter. It's basically a hole in the wall of the fork corridor that looks into another wall just behind it. And those walls are the ones with these odd holes that look into. I'm actually not sure what this looks into. A sky, I guess? It's an odd color for a sky, but I think the color of a level's atmosphere is the least of my. Lake Kessler. Hey, that's the blue channel. Alex Patter. Huh? Fritz Opel. Wait, really? Lake Kessler. Absolutely positive. It's got the color, the lack of shading, or whatever. It's definitely the channel. Alex Patter. Something tells me that makes this definitely its own level then. Not a sub? Fritz Opel. I'd bet my money on that, yeah. I guess this level just floats in the blue channel like all the others. Neat, I guess? Alex Patter. Hmm, well, I'm just gonna move on from it. I don't feel like trying to climb into that other space, as doable as it seems. I'm just gonna check around the rest of here. Somalia Hanks. You're almost out of the woods. Stay safe. Audio end. Image underscore 0032.png. Image caption. Finally, something different to Bones. A well. It's better than nothing. Date 02/12/2025. Audio start. Fritz Opel. Where was that well found? Alex Patter. It was just tucked behind that rear well, the one opposite to that blue channel hole in the wall. Oh, and on the left side, too. Fritz Opel. Can you see what's down there? Alex Patter. I actually peered down whilst sending. It looked like just blue sky. It wasn't the channel, mind you. There was actual clouds, and it was a lighter blue. Somalia Hanks. Ah, that could be the level exit we were hoping for. Don't use it yet, in case it's only one way, but it seems we have your way out practically secured. If pulling you back through doesn't work, that is. Alex Patter. Let's hope I won't have to use it. I'd rather meet back up with you two when I'm done with this. I don't want to end up stranded on some backwater level. Somalia Hanks. Hopefully you won't have to be. I do wonder, though, are there any other holes like this? Maybe you could even put your camera down any others to see where they end up at? Alex Patter. I'll have a look. Audio end. Image underscore 0033.png. Image caption. I don't think I'll be able to use this one. Date 02/12/2025. Audio start. Somalia Hanks. My god, what's happened with that one? Is that the one on the opposite side? Alex Patter. Nope, it's still on the left side. Just this time on the end of the corridor, instead of tucked behind the wall. This well, even though it's not got the surrounding walls of a well, its flooring is somewhat on a lower elevation to the rest of the ground, which is keeping all this shallow water from flooding the rest of the place. Somalia Hanks. Maybe it's a stupid question, but can you see what's down there? Alex Patter. Nope, not really. It looks sort of light blue down this hole. But at the same time, this water is a little too deep for me to really know what's down there, and I don't know how to swim. Lake Kessler. Wait, you don't? Alex Patter. Eh, poor upbringing. No clipped at a younger age. Needing to swim never really came up. Fritz Opel. It's a good thing it was just you interviewing who discovered level 100, Silent Sounds. Then, imagine if it was you. You'd be lost on what to do. Alex Petter. Huh, most likely, yeah. It's why I refuse to visit 37, Sublimity. It seems pretty and serene, but also I wouldn't want a chance drowning. Lake Kessler, maybe 82, self automated trade, has some pool floaties and swimming bands for you? Alex Patter, oh come on, you're just teasing me now. Lake Kessler, need us to stop? Alex Patter, nah, keep up the energy. It's helping me push through. There's just the right side of this hallway to do, and then that dark bit. Almost done, thankfully. Somalia Hanks. You are. You're doing pretty good, Alex. Just one last push, and we'll have finished without a scrape. Alex Patter. Would be rare for the PA team. We're treated like red shirts sometimes. At least we're doing well. Moving towards the right hallway now. Somalia Hanks. Good. Last stretch now, Alex. Alex Pater. Fritz Opel. Yeah? What's up? Alex Pater. Shh. Whispers. All of you. I hear scuttling. Fritz Opel. Scuttling? Lake Kessler. Are you sure? It'll still be there. Alex Pater. I know, but nothing's attacked me yet. And this level is quite small. It wouldn't be hard to kill me if these entities really. Oh, fuck! Lake Kessler. Alex? Alex? You're hyperventilating. What's wrong? Alex Patter. There's a. I went to the origin of the scuttling. There's a. Uh. Somalia Hanks. Alex? Alex. Take your time. What's there? Speak slowly. Describe it at your own leisure. Fritz Opel. You're gonna be fine, okay? That entity's gone. You've got nothing to worry about. Alex Pater. There. There is a. I think I found the missing explorer from 9, the suburbs. Somalia Hanks. Uh. Oh. Don't. She's not dead, is she? Alex Pater. Uh. Assuming this person is a she. Their hair's tied back, and it's quite long, too. But a lot of their skin's ripped and melted off. The face is more skull than anything else. Eyes are gone. A lot of the chest and torso's been ripped open as well. It looks sorta hollow and bloody. It's making identifying anything really hard. It's just human-shaped viscera. Fritz Opel. And there's no entities or anything around, right? It's it's just a body there. Alex Patter. There's definitely an entity around. It's just moved on from the girl. How long was this person down here? Somalia Hanks. She would have went missing on the 17th of November, so about 13 days ago? Lake Kessler. So, 13 days she was down here, then would she have been given supplies? Somalia Hanks. We always give our explorers rations to survive for a few days, in case they end up anywhere dangerous or far away. But, but given she was only exploring somewhere we thought was entityless, I only gave them enough for a week. Alex Patter. So she starved. Fritz Opel. Or she was killed by an entity. Either way, she's probably been dead for a while. Alex Patter. Yeah, the body is old. Uh, I can't believe I'm saying this, but should I get a picture of her, just so we know what happened to her? Somalia Hanks. It'll help our labbies understand what happened to her. Take a picture for us, but don't upload it to chat. I don't think we want to see it. Alex Patter. I definitely didn't want to. I'll spare you the visual imagery. I I guess I move on to the dark hallway now. Somalia Hanks. Do you think you'll be okay enough to do that? Alex Pater. It's the last mile to explore. B- but given she was only exploring somewhere we thought was entityless, I only gave them enough for a week. Alex Pater. So she starved. Fritz Opel. Or she was killed by an entity. Either way, she's probably been dead for a while. Alex Pater. Yeah, the body is old. I I can't believe I'm saying this, but should I get a picture of her just so we know what happened to her? Somalia Hanks. It'll help our labbies understand what happened to her. Take a picture for us, but don't upload it to chat. I don't think we want to see it. Alex Pater. I definitely didn't want to. I'll spare you the visual imagery. I I guess I move on to the dark hallway now. Somalia Hanks. Do you think you'll be okay enough to do that? Alex Pater. It's the last mile to explore. Assuming there's not a whole manner of other hallways and rooms. Fritz Opel. The level seems pretty finite so far. I doubt it. Alex Pater. Suppose there's only one way to find out. Moving in now. Somalia Hanks. Heard. I know I've said it before, but Alex Pater. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Lake Kessler. Shit, not again. What's happened now? Alex Pater. I found the source of the scuttling. Oof! Fritz Opel. Alex? Alex Pater. They're fucking crawling on me. It's, the fuck? Somalia Hanks. Alex, what's going on? Alex Pater. There's. It's some fleshy shit. It's crawling on me. So many legs on them. Weird eyes. God, it looks like a rotting clump of red. Get off! Lake Kessler. Alex, move back. Move back. If you even can move back. What's happening to you? Alex Pater. I'm trying to move back. These things are only small. Kicking them away is easy. But there's 10 of them at least, and they're not leaving me alone. Somalia Hanks. Where can you go? Where have they pushed you back to? Can you follow back the rope? Alex Pater. These things swarmed me as I was going through the door, so that's a no. Fritz Opel. The wells, then. Go down the wells. Lake Kessler. Were there wells down both of those halls? Alex Pater. No idea. Didn't check. 1 second. I'm pushing back, but they're faster than me by a scary degree. Shit. Stay back. I'm telling you, stay back. Help! Fritz Opel. Alex? Lake Kessler. He's gone silent. Fritz Opel. I can tell, Lake. I can tell. He was close to one of those Wait, which well was he close to? Lake Kessler. I hope it wasn't the flooded one. Fritz Opel. That one was at the end of the hallway, though, right? I doubt he got pushed that far. Lake Kessler. And if he did? Fritz Opel. Oh, shit. He could have drowned. Fuck. We should jump in and save him. He gave us the exact layout of the place. We know where to go. Somalia Hanks. No! Do not go down there. You two aren't even trained in rescue operation. You have no idea what it's like. Fritz Opel. We'll make it up as we go. We can even follow his rope. Lake Kessler. Shit, the rope. Fritz Opel. Lake? Lake, what the fuck? Lake Kessler. It pulled. I wasn't expecting it to just pull like that. Fritz Opel. So you let go? What the fuck? Somalia Hanks. You let it go? Lake Kessler. Yes, I did. It just pulled incredibly hard, and I was going to fall. Fritz Opel. You should have pulled it back against it. Lake Kessler. I did. It was losing slack, so I pulled back out of instinct, but it kept on trying to pull me back. Fritz Opel. Was he dragged away then? Oh God, I hope not. Lake Kessler. But he can't have. It was just a constant slip. No matter how hard I pulled, it just kept slipping. Audio end. Image underscore 0035.png. Image caption. Add a caption within the camera settings. Date 02/12/2025. Audio start. Fritz Opel. Alex, did you send that? Lake Kessler. Of course he sent it. It's from his camera. Somalia Hanks. He hasn't said anything to us yet. Fritz Opel. Oh fuck, what if it's the entities that sent that? Lake Kessler. It's not going to be the entities. He's fine. Fritz Opal. You let go of the rope. There'd be a higher chance of him being okay if you just did your part. Lake Kessler. Fritz, I told you, it just kept slipping. Alex Patter. Guys, guys, I'm okay. Fritz Opal. Alex! Holy shit! Somalia Hanks. You sound hurt, Alex. What's happened to you? Alex Patter. I got to that well with the sky inside of it, and I got a bit scraped on my way down it. Landed here after about a minute. Bit scraped, and a bit bitten and scratched, too. But nothing's followed me through. Fritz Opal. You're sure nothing's followed you? Somalia Hanks. And what level are you on, Alex? We need to come get you. Alex Patter. I'm sure nothing's followed me, and I'm not sure. It's just a field? Lake Kessler. Is it 10? The bumper crop. Somalia Hanks. Doesn't seem foggy enough, and the grass seems too short. Maybe it's 205? The Grove of Clones. Fritz Opal. Where do you think you are, Alex? Alex Patter. I've no clue. 10, the bumper crop, or 205, the Grove of Clones. Sound about right, though. Somalia Hanks. I'll gather the teams from EL3A, note, see significant room of level 2, office space EL3A, and 29, Hyperion, to head to 10, bumper crop, and look for you. If they can't find you on 10, they'll use the exit there to go to 205, the Grove of Clones. If they can't find you on 10, the bumper crop. Alex Patter. Heard. I'll be sat, though. Standing up's extremely difficult now. Somalia Hanks. You're not banged up too hard, are you? Alex Patter. Scratched, bitten, and possibly a little bit burned. Some of my skin looks bubbly, but it's settling in the cold air. Somalia Hanks. That doesn't sound good. I'll get some paramedics to come with those groups and get you. Don't move. Try to treat the bleeding if you can. Alex Patter. I'll try. Waiting patiently for the crew to pick me up. Fritz Opal. And what do we do here back in 230? The Port of Misgivings. Somalia Hanks. Well, I think initial exploration's over. You two can go back to 13.1. No data available at the moment. Give your reports and hand over all the images and logs Alex and Lake got respectively. Lake Kessler. Well, I'll be glad to get back. What do we do about the open grave here, though? And the others that are dug up as well? Somalia Hanks. Is the ground still non-clippable? Lake Kessler. Nope. No, it's not. Just kicked a small stone down, and it hit the dirt with a little bounce. The entrance is closed up. Somalia Hanks. Feel free to just head home, then. Worst comes to the worst, we'll have to send out speakers out to 230, the Port of Misgivings, to explain what's happening. But that shouldn't be too long. Good work, you three. I'm just glad it all worked out. Lake Kessler. Yeah, me too. Sorry I dropped the rope, Alex. Alex Patter. Hey, it's fine. I assume you dropped it as I went down the well. You would have been going against the full force of gravity. Lake Kessler. Still, sorry. I'll come see you in the hospital when you're back at 13.1. No data available at the moment. Alex Patter. Well, I'll definitely be there. Switching my radio off, by the way. My head's ringing. Somalia Hanks. Well, we may need it in the future to know where you are, but don't worry about it. Just switch it on in about 10 minutes after your head settles. Okay? Alex Patter. Will do, Mrs. Hanks. Audio end. I'll admit, I thought Alex was dead. I really thought I fucked up by dropping the rope. Hey, Lake, it's fine. We did it. No one in our team died. I still screwed up. You said yourself. I overreacted. I'm sorry. In hindsight, it's kinda obvious the rope started to slip because he began to fall down the well. My mind was just racing too much to see it. I still screwed up. I'm better than this. Why don't I stick with you? Just for a little while. We can just order some food from that pizzeria and, I don't know, watch some films donated from 906, the Cygnus archive. Sound fun? Certainly not a bad idea. We should probably move off these messages, though. Aren't these monitored? Crap, they totally are as well. Hang on, I'll come grab you in person. Can't believe you already started to leave, lol. I hate dark levels. Didn't want to stick around. I'll stop at the entrance for you, and we can keep talking there. Heh, deal. See you in a second. SH Diary, 3rd of December, 2025. File. Edit. View. Insert. Format. Tools. Add-ons. Help. Last edit was 7 hours ago. Well, after reviewing all of the data today from yesterday's exploration, I've been commissioned by 4, Abandoned Office, 4's PA branch to get a level draft written. It's even been moved designation from PA-M54 to just a default PA-117. Good to see it's being recognized as a proper level. I'm not sure what else it could be seen as, frankly. I am still a bit shaken from that exploration, even if it was a day ago now. No one died, and Alex is being treated with only a few light scars on his arms and chest. But the pictures and what he went through seems horrifying, especially with that picture of the explorer I sent to 9, the suburbs. I guess I'm a little softer now. I remember those horrific bodies in 151, the dollhouse, and not even flinching. And now, here I am, feeling sympathy for an operative I don't even remember the name of. I'm not going to tell anyone, since they did want me to write the page for PA 117, but I'm going to give the writing task over to Holly. She'll hate me for it, since when isn't she grumpy nowadays? But I know she'll do it. Worst comes to the worst, I'll pretend she owes me one. Hopefully some future investigation on PA 117 can be made in the future. There's still that whole lower half that could host a whole manner of secrets and discoveries, but we're just waiting for approval on them. That well he came through seems to work both ways, so we don't need to worry about staking out different graves again. However, I definitely don't want to be a part of this investigation going forwards. I'll help in terms of advice, but I'm not going to direct any further missions involving this PA. Perhaps I'll try to move back to a less hands-on job, like some office work, though I refuse to move to 4 for that. Note, see level 4, abandoned office. The kids would hate it. Addendum. Well, I guess Somalia gave me this task. It's just a first draft. I'll cheese it a bit to get it out before the deadline. I'm sure the higher-ups will add the correct tone and format. I can't be bothered to add. Why am I even writing this down? Let's just get started with the template. Survival difficulty. Class pending. Safety undetermined. Unsecured. Presence of entities undetermined. Image caption. The lowest explored portion of Addendum, PA 117. Description. Addendum, pending approval 117, is a finite and specifically organized array of catacombs in stone-like, claustrophobic hallways that are all completely made of bones and enamel. Addendum. Besides those lights and wires, I actually have to wonder what they're made of. Its structure, whilst quite proprietary, is one comprised solely of hallways, either made of pulverized bone, indistinguishable from stone found in caves, or of larger and overtly obvious bones that coat select walls within the level. The lattermost walls are predominantly composed of limb bones, like the humerus, footnote, the first bone of the arm below the shoulder, end footnote, the radius, footnote, one of 2 bones located within the lower arm, specifically the upper one when relaxing one's hand in a neutral position, end footnote, and the ulna, footnote, the second of the 2 bones within the lower arm, end footnote. Other bones are also present that act as extra padding to these walls, the most notable of which being skulls, which are mostly witnessed to be stacked across in lines, as well as being sunken into the bone walls themselves. For the walls that are not overt displays of remains, the general structure of the different hallways is similar to porous and volcanic stone that ancient Egyptian catacombs would usually be constructed out of. However, as referenced prior, the material of these rooms is the exact same as the bones from the other, more overt hallways. Through unknown means, certain smaller bones from bodies are pulverized, or otherwise, generally chiseled down and fused together to create the more stone looking hallways. These walls, despite their base material being of otherwise dried and brittle bones, are unusually tough, and subsequently allow for wanderers to easily walk along their mass without caving through the floor. Addendum. We don't actually know this for definite. I'm just adding this in due to the fact that increased bone density feels like the best guess for why the first explorer guide didn't just fall through the floor at any point. The air within Addendum PA 117 is unusually musty and dank, most likely caused by the chalky nature of the level's structural makeup. The air itself is not inherently a risk to health. However, prolonged exposure to the dingy and claustrophobic air has caused prior fear and panic into previous investigators. Addendum. I know I used plural beings singular, even though only one person has been to this level so far, but I'm sure more explorations are going to follow. Perhaps the general description is a little on the short side, but this level isn't exactly a grand trove of uniqueness. I don't think anything more needs to be added. Specific areas. As previously documented, Addendum PA 117's layout is that of an extremely specific nature, different to a majority of other Backrooms levels currently documented within the database. As such, subheadings and subsequent descriptions for each main area of Addendum PA 117 have been created, and maps of said locations have been drawn for general aid when exploring this level. Addendum. I wrote that last part without thinking. Don't make me draw a map. The top. PA 117 maptop.jpg. Image caption. Addendum. Obviously, map's not drawn yet. It'll be added in whenever someone draws it. Addendum. This part will be broken for a while since the lack of an image is messing with the format. Just ignore the visual glitches. Image caption. A view of the blue channel as seen from behind a wall within this sector of the level. The top of Addendum PA 117 is comprised of a long, singular corridor comprised of the pulverized and fused bone material described above. This singular hallway is where wanderers entering the level will end up. Footnote: unless another, more reliable method of entry is later discovered that doesn't utilize these wells, that is also not through the extremely unpredictable method of no clipping during body snatching incidents. End footnote. As the two, addendum, or four if there are other wells on the other side of this hallway, wells from level 205, the Grove of Clones, and level XXX are located on this hall, whilst offering little in visual decoration besides old and dry bones scattering the floor on addendum, either the left or right side of the hallway, depending on which entrances to the level one has used. I'm just adding this here as a safety net for when two more wells will most likely be discovered. There are two large openings within the well that overlook a spiral shape in a wall behind, accumulating into a circular hole that looks outward and into the blue channel. As with most rooms within Addendum PA 117, there lacks a complete lack of general furniture or other items besides overhead industrial lighting that is sparsely placed along the ceiling of the level, connected via exposed yet insulated wiring. Addendum. At least I'm assuming so. I'm just interpreting off of other images with that claim. The sparse amount of pictures of this area don't show off the ceiling. At the center of this singular hallway, between the two holes in the walls that look into the blue channel's windows, exists another hallway of similar width to the initial corridor, albeit with walls of either bricks made of the same pulverized bone as the aforementioned corridor, or of the larger array of bones and skulls. This hallway is what subsequently leads to the next area of Addendum, PA 117, known as the Center. Addendum. There's also a possibility that the entities in this level mainly kill or congregate in this area, given the exploration log, though that's too much of a hypothetical at the moment to give a proper write up to. The Center. PA117MA Center.jpg. Image caption. Addendum. Still no map. Image caption. The intersection after following the other hallway down from the top area. Image caption. The main area of what is known as the center. Pictured here are the various entrances to the subsequent hallways within the main master hall. The center, being one of the most cluttered and connected areas of the level, acts as somewhat of a hub for the other areas of Addendum PA 117. Connected to the previously described hallway by a four-way pulverized bone intersection, footnote, that also connects to the other explored area of this level, and footnote, the center is the closest draw to a quote-unquote room within this level. However, its otherwise larger space is divided by walls of a similar height to the ones within the top that looked into the blue channel, creating a main pathway that's almost slimmer than the hallways that have come before it. Like the starting hall, this area of the level is constructed out of pulverized bone material that mimics the design of porous rocks, with the walls, floor, ceiling, and the pillars unanimously made of this same material. The dividing walls that block either side of the entrance doorway into the center open at a semi-consistent distance of approximately every 3.5 meters. In total, there are 14 of these hallways, or 7 on each side. Image caption. The end of one of the many side hallways that connect to the center. Down each of these hallways, which are equally as obstructed by walls as the master hallway, footnote, creating small gaps between the spaces of the doorways that are going to be described below, and footnote, are yet more thin hallways. These hallways, much like the one that connect the top with the center, are littered with large human remains that are, more or less, constructed of the same aforementioned bones listed above in the general description. These hallways, varying in length, going from tallest at the top to smallest at the bottom, are all uniformly straight, and are lit up by various industrial lights along the walls and ceiling, connected by exposed yet protected wiring in a similar way to the previous areas. No matter the hall that individuals choose to venture down, each hallway culminates into a flat, dead end, the end wall possessing the exact same composition as the other two walls on either side of the corridor. Addendum. I'm putting a note to say that I expect further investigation will reveal more about these hallways. There's no way they just end. The sides. PA 117 mapsides.jpg. Image caption. Placeholder period. Image caption, a general representative image of how 4 of the 20 total rooms within Addendum PA 117 look like. Image caption, an image depicting the sections of the sides that have bones as their walls. The sides are, by and large, one of the most complex areas of Addendum PA 117, possessing a comparatively complex room layout, though one that still follows a linear pattern. Access to the sides is done by following either the left or right routes when coming in from the top. Each corridor leads to 2 identically laid out sets of rooms, with the only difference being the general placement of bones within the rooms that openly display them. The first and third rooms of each side of the sides. Addendum. The sides will definitely need a new name, as will the rest of the other titles. They're extremely plain names. Each resemble cylindrical, bone-filled rooms. The middles of these rooms, besides the third of each room containing a plinth within the middle of its circular flooring, are entirely hollow, thus allowing a greater stretch of movement of around 10 meters from roughly end to end. Addendum. I'm just assuming based off of the photos given. This may change in future expeditions. Despite their almost identical appearances, the first and third rooms share one notable difference between their different architecture. For the first rooms, the doorway into the lower portion of the level is placed at a 90-degree angle to either the left or the right, depending on which side one has chosen to go down. Footnote: the doorway into the later parts of the sides will follow parallel to the direction of the center, and footnote. For the third rooms, the doorway will be placed on the opposite side of the room, directed at a 180-degree angle. The second and fourth rooms of the sides are similar in design to the hallway intersection that connects all areas of Addendum PA 117 together. However, they follow a far looser corridor structure, something especially true for the lower walls. Addendum. The fourth rooms of the sides follow an almost S-bend as they move down to the remaining 16 rooms of each of the sides. Adding this here as purely a hypothetical, the proven images lack enough visual information to know if this is true. Image caption. The small array of doorways present towards one end of the sides, found within the corridor room. Below the above four rooms is a separate room, though it's of almost equal width to the previous and long fourth room that came before it. This fifth room is separated from the others by the fact that its construction is not that of the overt, large bones, but instead of the previously well established ground up and unrecognizable carcass parts. This room, no matter which side one may be on, connects to a total of 5 other rooms. However, depending on which side of the sides one may have chosen to explore, the direction of the hallway is at a 90-degree angle to the previous hallway, as opposed to the 180-degree angle difference the other four share, will instead be flipped. Footnote, specifically pointing inwards and towards the center, end footnote. Image caption. The lowermost area currently explored of Addendum PA 117, specifically the small corridors found at the end of the doorway room. With the exception of the set of rooms that point inwards and to the center, each of these doorway openings each lead to almost identically designed pulverized bone rooms, having lights tucked back within indents in the walls. Addendum. None of the images nor radio dialogue give any indicators as to what these are, so this note here is so that hopefully it can be discovered and added in the future. At each end of these hallways, there is a turn in the doorways between one identical hall and the next, which tilts inwards towards the center. This, however, only continues on for a total of 3 hallways before the passageways come to an abrupt end. From most currently understood documentation, the sides do not outstretch any further than these 3 hallways. It must be noted, also, that these 3-part hallways shrink in general size from the one closest towards the center. Addendum. There aren't any accurate measurements I can take. I can't even guess, since there's just no images of the other hallways. Best I can do is trust the word of the radio archives. The below. Image caption. A photo of the enshrouded below, pictured from within the center. The below is an almost enigmatic portion of Addendum, PA 117, as it hasn't been explored. Addendum. I'm not going to finish that, as I realize that this will eventually get more written for it when future expeditions are done. Right now, the image is just here. Addendum, PA 117's Entities. Though no photographic evidence exists of the creatures, Addendum PA 117 is home to at least 10 individual examples of fleshy, grotesque, and drill like organisms. Addendum. The explorer who saw these entities firsthand isn't out from the hospital, so speaking to them is difficult when I'm on 138, Golden Guy, right now. I'll just make up what I can interpret from the radio logs and how these entities presumably retrieved the bodies. These creatures are fleshy, partially rotting collections of flesh and viscera, potentially originating from wanderers who are able to end up within Addendum PA 117. Their structure is that of a varied and malleable multi-legged structure being no more than about 2 feet high, footnote, or around 1.6 meters, end footnote. Presumably, the feet of these creatures possess a harder, more solid structure in order to be able to pierce and puncture the bodies of wanderers, as well as commit acts of grave robbing, which will be detailed later. As well as this, these creatures also possess a series of sharp teeth on an unknown area of their body that, despite the malleability of the rest of their form, are able to leave considerable bite marks on wanderers they attack. As previously described, the actual locations of these teeth, nor the shape of the teeth used themselves, are currently known to the MEOD, though the current belief is that these teeth are embedded inside their amorphous bodies, and can be moved to the needed areas of their body in order to attack. Footnote. It is also possible that these bites can produce a burning effect, given the previous 2 examples of entity attacks show possible burn marks on the individual's skin. End footnote. Whilst possessing the ability to attack, the main purpose of these entities is to steal dead bodies from various levels via no-clipping into various areas of these levels and assimilating the bones from the stolen deceased into the level's walls, floors, and ceilings. As well as this, it is believed the remaining flesh and organs is then used to create these entities, given their visceral design and lack of a bone structure. History. Addendum. I am not adding this part in. I am not an archivist who knows what information to pull up. This was a pretty recent event, and I think someone else would be better suited to add it all in. Bases, outposts, and communities. There are no known bases, outposts, or communities on this level. Addendum. I hope I get permission to remove this part. Entrances and exits. Addendum. Going to do this bit first, it's usually the easiest. Addendum. PA 117. Prior to initial first contact, where more permanent access and egress was discovered, was initially only accessible via the grave robbing described within the history section. However, after the first documented exploration of Addendum, PA 117, was completed, two quote unquote wells were discovered that each led to another level. Addendum. There were most likely two more wells, but first investigation was cut short before they could be seen. Those two levels are as follows. Level 205, the Grove of Clones. Level 205 acts as both the mutual entrance and exit to Addendum, PA 117, through a singular well that exists within both levels. Within Addendum, PA 117, the well exit exists, Addendum, within the leftmost corridor at the end of the top hallway within the four-way intersection. I haven't actually written the main description yet, so this will be changed when I do a second revision. This aforementioned well, should one decide to enter it, will deposit oneself into level 205. Footnote. When using this method of exit, the thin nature of the well may cause injury if one does not use it at the right angle, or if one moves too much whilst inside of it. End footnote. Level XXX. Addendum. First exploration never found out where this one goes, so I'm just going to put XXX. Can't be bothered removing the link parameters around it. Within the same left corridor at the top of Addendum, PA 117, though this well specifically is at the end of the hallway, is a singular room at a somewhat lower elevation. Here, another well to level XXX is placed. Its area is entirely flooded, and so the only way to use this exit is via swimming. Should one do so, one will arrive at level XXX. PA template reminder. When this pending approval is designated a name, ensure to swap out all highlighted mentions of the PA title with the aforementioned new title before official posting. As an extension to this rule, ensure that one rereads the PA draft to ensure that any mentions of previous information obscurities, contradictions, and other such errors found by later documentation are resolved. Also, you may openly save previous drafts of PA documentation. While this beta write-up is not finalized or public draft, ensure to follow usual main extended organization's database, writing rules and conventions. Assumptions are to be used only when necessary. If a fact about the location being written is not fact-checked, unproven, or a portion of the location's information is entirely unknown, state such in the article's contents. MEOD, acting as one on the behalf of many. Holly0679, h.clove at backroom.com, 12:06 a.m., 10 minutes ago. 2. L.lock at backroom.com, http://backrooms-wiki.wiki.com/PA117. The first draft for PA117 has been completed, boss. Leyland, L.lock at backroom.com, 12:06 a.m., 10 minutes ago. To me. Wait, what? I thought it was assigned to Somalia. Why have you done it? Holly0679, h.clove at backroom.com, 12:07 a.m., 9 minutes ago. 2. L.lock at backroom.com. Somalia wasn't feeling good today, boss. I think the exploration of PA 117 is still on her mind. She asked me to write the first draft for her, and apparently I owed her one. So I did it. Leyland, L.lock at backroom.com, 12:08 a.m., 8 minutes ago, to me. And what about your own jobs? Looking at your profile, you're supposed to be doing questioning from the survivors of PA-E101, not calling in favors for people. Holly 0679 h.clove at backroom.com, 12:08 a.m., 8 minutes ago, to l.lock at backroom.com. I did the draft in my own free time, boss. My paid work hasn't been inhibited at all. Leyland, l.lock at backroom.com, 12:09 a.m., 7 minutes ago, to me. I'll trust you on that. Fine. I'll read the draft you sent, and let you know what I think. Holly 0679 h.clove at backroom.com, 12:09 a.m., 7 minutes ago. 2. l.lock at backroom.com. Heard loud and clear. I'll wait patiently. Leyland, l.lock at backroom.com, 12:14 a.m., 2 minutes ago. To me. I've skimmed the draft. There are tonal and sentence issues, as there always will be in first drafts. You also lean on assumptions and have left too many notes/addendums still on the page. Those can be left on external pages nowadays. Holly 0679 h.clove at backroom.com, 12:14 a.m., 2 minutes ago. 2. l.lock at backroom.com. It's just easier to write with those notes/addendums, boss. Leyland, l.lock at backroom.com, 12:15 a.m., 1 minute ago. To me. I understand that. At the very least, it will aid those in charge of working on revising this article easier. But those revisions will only come when a second exploration date is decided. Also, you'll have to draw the map. Holly 0679 h.clove at backroom.com, 12:15 a.m., 1 minute ago. 2. l.lock at backroom.com. Wait, what? Why? I don't draw. Aren't there artists who can do it? Leyland, l.lock at backroom.com, 12:16 a.m., just now. Our readily available artists are busy creating graphics to advertise the new town on 994, exist here, or are doing restoration projects on 57, Diurnal Art Gallery. We need a map sooner rather than later for future explorations. You'll be paid for it. Holly 0679 h.clove at backroom.com, 12:16 a.m., just now. 2. l.lock at backroom.com. Fine, then. I'll draw the map when I can. Reply. Forward. Welcome to the MEOD Media Transcription Archives. You have accessed the audio transcripts for the CCTV surveillance footage of Level 13.1, no data available at the moment, Level 13.1's Canteen 03 as per the search guidelines of during 06/12/2025. Disclaimer. The main extended organization database holds the privacy and data of all its inhabitants in the utmost regard, and does all it can to protect said data from any sort of threat, whether they be in-house or otherwise. These recordings, and later hand-translated write-ups, are not intended to act as a breach of privacy. Whilst every submitted video, audio recording, and even other written material is rewritten into the MEG standard format, this is only for the ease of potential investigation into illegal matters, documentation, and a general standard of clarity and uniformity with how media is documented. At no point will the MEOD leak or threaten to leak any confidential information about its inhabitants, and nor will its audio and visual transcribes be accessible to those without express authorization. MEOD, acting as one on the behalf of many. Begin log at 12:33 p.m. Date 06/12/2025. Location Level 13.1's Canteen 03. Participants Holly Clove, PA and AA Interrogator. Holly Clove. This is stupid. Sat on one of the quieter benches within the large mess hall, Holly Clove was hunched over the aforementioned bench. She had a tablet laid flat along the bench, and was hanging her head directly over it in a contemplative manner, the food she was eating at the same time taking up secondary importance to her, given that it was pushed away from her immediate view. Having a stylus in hand, she hovered it over the tablet screen, which was displaying a completely blank canvas in a drawing software. Holly constantly pondered, lowering the stylus down periodically in an attempt to start her drawing before pulling back on her hand, usually giving a grumbling sigh afterwards. Holly Clove. Why am I being given the task for this? I have other things I can be doing. If I do it poorly enough, they'll just get it replaced. I doubt they'll even use it for the final draft anyways. The food she was eating at the same time taking up secondary importance to her, given that it was pushed away from her immediate view. Having a stylus in hand, she hovered it over the tablet screen, which was displaying a completely blank canvas in a drawing software. Holly constantly pondered, lowering the stylus down periodically in an attempt to start drawing before pulling back on her hand, usually giving a grumbling sigh afterwards. Holly Clove, why am I being given the task for this? I have other things I can be doing. If if I do it poorly enough, they'll just get it replaced. I doubt they'll even use it for the final draft anyways. I'm sure the art department will be done with their current stuff by the time it's taken out of PA status. Reaching into a bag by her side, Holly fishes out and equips a set of old, slim headphones, taking out a rather old phone after the fact as well. Cycling through some emails via the physical buttons below the small phone screen, Holly accessed an MP3 file and subsequently began to let it play, keeping her stylus near to the screen of her far more modern tablet. Holly Clove, come on, just skip to the part where he no clips in. Although staying rather motionless as she listens to the recording on her phone, Holly eventually begins to move her stylus downwards, pressing the tip against the screen. With a slow and singular motion, she begins to draw a straight line on her canvas, stopping after a few seconds before tilting the angle of her wrist and drawing another line of similar length. Over time, Holly continued to do so for around a minute or so, drawing an abstract, spider like stick figure that she was presumably getting from what she was listening to. Holly Clove. Easy enough. Drawing the next part should be easy, and I can just flip it too. After briefly murmuring to herself, Holly waited until a few more seconds had passed before she began to draw again, dragging a single line up from the odd drawing she'd done prior in a north direction, and stopping after long enough to draw a circle shape at the top of it. After drawing the circle, Holly then slowly began to drag her stylus up again to draw a line in similar length to the last one, drawing another circle on after it. After doing this, Holly briefly looked at what she'd drawn with somewhat of a furrowed brow, deciding to use a select tool to select her drawing, copy it, flip it, and paste it opposite to what she'd already drawn, connecting the two with a straight line between the two top circles, and briefly stopping afterwards, looking at her drawing again with curious confusion. Holly Clove. Wait, it's not, is it? After briefly pondering, Holly resumed her work on her tablet, taking the stylus and drawing a vertical line through the middle of the most recent one she'd drawn, dragging it downwards until the line met with the southern tip of the lowermost lines she'd drawn. Seeming rather hasty, Holly subsequently began to draw various more lines that were horizontal rather than vertical. She drew 7 of these lines in total, each one getting smaller in length until hitting the bottom of the line she drew, at which point she opted to stretch the original vertical line out further. Holly Clove. Oh, it's. That makes sense. Holy shit, I can draw the rest of this from memory. Somalia needs to see this. After briefly murmuring to herself another time, Somalia decided to switch off the recording from her phone, continuing to draw. She decided to draw a box shape on top of the most recent vertical line, leaving space between the long horizontal she drew before the vertical one and the box itself. Afterwards, she used an eraser tool to carve out the areas from the box she wanted, creating a T shape within the rectangle, and then drew 2 other lines right at the top of the box that were parallel to the topmost line of the T shape, having a gap between each other before reaching the middle. Afterwards, the only thing Holly did was add on 4 circles within the box with the eraser tool still being used, putting 2 on either left and right side of the box, and 2 just behind the vertical line of the T shape. Holly Clove. Yep, that's. Well, I'll see what Somalia makes of it. End log at 12:57 p.m. Image caption PA117 map.png. Image caption Somalia, PA117 is a body. Wait, what? What do you mean? I apologize, Holly. You've caught me at a bad time. Why are you messaging me through this, too? PA117, the one you asked me to write about. To answer the second question, last time I emailed you, you took 2 hours to reply to me. I know you're quicker to respond here. I know what you meant, Holly, and I'm sorry for not responding to you that one time. I'm just confused on the image you've sent me and the claim you've said. Could you elaborate on it for me? What I just posted is a map of PA 117. I wrote the draft as you asked me to, and left empty spots for the art department to draw a better map. Apparently, art department was busy, so Leyland asked me to. And this is definitely the map of the place, right? Do you think I'm lying about it? I had the original audio playing as I drew it. You were on radio as the whole event transpired. Trace it back in your head, and I'm sure you'll see it. Oh gosh, you're right. See, I told you. So those entities that attacked Alex are building a body? Or the bones of one, at least. I can't imagine to what end. God, it explains so much. There was always going to be a why this place was being built. These creatures are working on creating a creature. Do you think it's just the bones right now? Maybe there's flesh and organs outside of PA 117? No idea. I guess we won't know until we get a second exploration done. At least we have all the questions we need answering for the next expedition. I suppose so, yeah. How did I not notice that before? It seems so obvious. No wonder the layout of the level is so specific. This was staring us in the face. Missing this isn't something to blame yourself over. No one else realized either. I only did after very explicitly drawing a map. I'm supposed to be intuitive enough to notice this, though. I'm one of the main investigators of anything anomalous. Even now, when I've got a cane and stupid meds, I've missed something crucial with PA 98 last year, and at least 20 died from that. Now I've done it again with 117. Somalia, calm down, please. PA 98 is one of your only mistakes, and just like now, not a single other person realized it either. I understand you feel hurt by what happened there, but you're missing the fact 117's skeleton isn't a bad thing, nor is it emblematic of a trend. It's emblematic of the fact I'm getting old, Holly. Even with slow clock, I'm still faltering. It's like if somehow I missed the orange glow if I were exploring level 19, attic floorboards, for the first time, or if I forgot to write that death is inevitable on 790, ultimate fate. You're not faltering, you're doing just fine. In fact, how about I do you a favor? I'll humor it. Go on. Leyland wants an update to the middle sorts page, apparently to add in some new interviews with its staff. It was supposed to be me doing it after I finished some PA-E interviews, but I'll ask for you to do it instead. Why though? What better would I do that you can't? Because I want to show you that you're not faltering at your job. PA 98 was a hard hitter for you, and I'm sure that losing Andrew in the prenatal was also tough on you as well. I'm giving you my job, and the pay you'd get from it too, just to show you that you're still good at what you do. Sure then, I'll take the offer. I really don't know what to say other than thank you. That's all you need to say. You're welcome. Actually, that's a lie. I need you to organize and greenlight other explorations for PA 117. I know you probably don't want to think about it still, but if you can do it, I'd appreciate it. I'll even write up the final draft for it. In that case, sure. Thank you for the help. I almost didn't expect it from you. I don't mean that in a bad way. I apologize. No, it's okay. Losing the original overseers and the conglomeration of BR has really affected me. Things feel different. They sure do. Seems like I'm not the only person who feels that way. You could always move to a more remote village. Ones like the people on 190, school detention, don't even have currency, which would be a breath of fresh air for you. I think it would be for everyone. I didn't expect to have to manage my economics ever again after first noclip, but I think I'll stay in 13.1. No data available at the moment, for a while, just in case things improve. I don't blame you one bit. It's why I stay on 11, the endless city. That, and it's a good place to raise the kids. I'm going to get the next investigations organized. Speak another time. Likewise, and give Jason and the kids my love, too. 20/12/2025, 10/01/2026, 31/01/2026, 16/02/2026, 01/3/2026, 18/03/2026. Welcome to the MEOD Media Transcription Archives. You have access to the audio transcribes for the CCTV surveillance footage of Level 13.1 Street Lamp Camera 6 as per the search guidelines of during 19/03/2026. Disclaimer. The main extended organization database holds the privacy and data of all its inhabitants in the utmost regard, and does all it can to protect said data from any sort of threat, whether they be in house or otherwise. These recordings, and later hand transcribed write ups, are not intended to act as a breach of privacy. Whilst every submitted video, audio recording, and even other written material is rewritten into the MEG standard format, this is only for the ease of potential investigation into illegal matters, documentation, and a general standard of clarity and uniformity with how media is documented. At no point will the MEOD leak or threaten to leak any confidential information about its inhabitants, and nor will its audio and visual transcribes be accessible to those without express authorization. MEOD, acting as one on the behalf of many. Begin log at 04:59 p.m. Date 19/03/26. Location 13.1 Street Lamp Camera 6. Participants Somalia Hanks, Home PA and AA Investigator. Alex Patter, PA and AA Interrogator, General Fields Investigator. Somalia Hanks. Ah, Alex. I knew I'd find you if I looked around long enough. In the street, Somalia Hanks had spotted and moved over to Alex Patter, having been looking for him for a while. She gave an overarm wave with her free arm, walking with a slight hobble on her cane as she approached him. Alex looked rather surprised at hearing his name called, turning his head to look over at Somalia and giving her a smile. Alex Patter. Somalia, I didn't expect to see you here. It's a pleasant surprise. Somalia Hanks. Well, I thought I'd check in with you. I could have done it over email or direct line, but I figured I'd see you in person. Check if your, wounds have healed and the like. Alex Patter. There's still scars, but other than that, I'm doing okay. I'm even back on field work again. This time working on exploring the new PA 118. It never ends. Somalia Hanks. Nice to see you're leaping back into action. I almost miss being spry enough to take an entity like that on the chin like you did. Alex Patter. It's not the worst. BA 118 is its own whirlwind of issues, though. I'll spare you the details. Somalia Hanks. Message me them if you'd like. I'd be intrigued to read what stuff the PA team's getting up to nowadays. Alex Patter. I mean, you can just check yourself, can't you? Somalia Hanks. Nope, not anymore. I retired. Handed in my letter to the big boss himself 2 weeks ago, and it got officialized the day before yesterday. Alex Patter. Wait, really? How come? Looking down for a second, Somalia sighed for a brief moment before smiling somewhat and giving an almost playful shrug. Somalia Hanks. Had a successful set of interviews in the middle sorts, and figured I'd throw in the towel on a high note. Alex Patter. You didn't get fired, did you? Somalia snorts, shaking her head, whilst some faint laughter sets in, causing Alex to chuckle along with her. Afterwards, she repositioned her cane and glanced back up at Alex, clearing her throat momentarily. Somalia Hanks. No, no, nothing like that. I'm old, Alex. I've got a husband, 2 kids, and a home to take care of. Juggling work amidst all of that just isn't practical at my age. At the very least, I get a good pension and some good free gifts for the rest of my life. Alex Patter. Well, it's a bold choice, but I admire it. Hopefully, 11, the Endless City, doesn't become too much of a drag for you. Somalia Hanks. Oh, it never has. Even with all the times I've accidentally ended up in 55. Land of Ice. I'd prefer living there than anywhere else. Alex Patter. I figure 13.1, no data available at the moment. 13.1's too rustic for you. Somalia Hanks. Too rural, too. I've always preferred the city. Frankly, it was either here, 147, such a familiar route, or that black and white one I'm forgetting the number of. Alex Patter. I'm just glad to see my former boss is doing okay. I was just heading to the park for a jog. Do you want to come with me so we can chat more? Somalia Hanks. Nah, I just want to give something to Holly. And I know I'd stop you from jogging if I went with you to the park. Just. Oh, exploration on PA 117 got finished yesterday. I think they're about to make the final write up. It just needs a proper designation as either normal or enigmatic now. Alex Patter. Do you think I'd get to number it? Somalia Hanks. You'd want it to be normal, eh? Alex Patter. Enigmatics are usually all pretentious and stuff. I think I'd rather go for a number. Somalia Hanks. Well, contact PA about it. I doubt I exactly have much clearance to do it on your behalf. Just make sure you message in before they pick one for you. Alex Patter. It'd be weird having someone do it on my behalf, anyways. I'll make sure to ask them before the day ends. I assume you'll be wanting to go and meet Holly now? After Alex spoke, Somalia sighed briefly and nodded, looking up at Alex and shooting him another smile before starting to turn her feet right and moving away from Alex to join with the light commute along the dirt road, giving him a slight wave as she left. Alex Patter. Oh, uh, do you think 206 is free? It's a skeleton. It's kinda a funny pun. Somalia Hanks. Pfft, I like your thinking with it. It should be? I want to think that consecutive numbers actually ends with 205, the Grove of Clones. So you'll be quite lucky if your request goes through. Alex Patter. I'll send it in the second I'm home then. Wouldn't want to miss a chance to keep up consecutive numbers. Somalia laughed a little bit, speeding up her walking, though only because her conversation with Alex Patter had concluded. With that, Alex also chuckled a little, watching Somalia go off and down the road before opting to leave the area himself. End log at 5:20 p.m. The Backrooms. You've been here before. Level 206. Bones of Bones. Survival difficulty. Class 4. Unsafe, unsecure, medium entity count. Image caption: the east-west spanning hallway within the head of level 206. Description: Level 206 is a recently created, finite, and specifically organized array of catacombs and stone-like, claustrophobic hallways, which are all intentionally built to the approximate dimensions of a humanoid skeleton for transport across the Blue Channel. Its structure, whilst quite proprietary, is one composed solely of hallways, either made of pulverized bone, indistinguishable from stone found in caves, or of larger and overtly obvious bones that coat select walls within the level. The lattermost walls are predominantly composed of limb bones, like the humerus, the ulna, and the radius. Footnote: these bones are the upper bone found in the top of the arm, the uppermost bone in the forearm, and the lower bone in the forearm, respectively. End footnote. Other bones are also present that act as extra padding to these walls, the most notable of which being skulls, which are seen to be stacked across in horizontal lines, as well as being sunken into the bone walls themselves. For the walls that are not overt displays of remains, the general structure of the different hallways is similar to porous and volcanic stone that ancient European catacombs would usually be constructed out of. However, as referenced prior, the material of these rooms is the exact same as the bones from the other, more overt hallways. As well as these bones, level 206 is lit via an infrequent array of irregularly placed industrial and fluorescent lights, all surprisingly constructed out of ordinary traditional materials. These wires, whilst insulated in rubber, are exposed to wanderers, usually trailing along the ceiling or high up on the walls. As well as this, objects like exit signs, regular signs, switches, stone slabs, and electrical panels also exist and are dotted along the scape. These, however, are disconnected from the above lights, and tampering with them yields no results. Image caption: an all-encompassing map of level 206's architecture. Through a process executed by the native entities of level 206, certain, usually smaller bones within the body are broken, melted, and fused together to create the porous stone comprising the hallways. These walls, despite their base material being of otherwise dried and brittle bones, run extremely deep, allowing for an almost infinite application of force to be applied to any of 206's perimeter architecture without it suffering major damages. Footnote: however, minor damages are fixed by the aforementioned entities within this level, which will be further detailed in the later sections of this article. End footnote. The air within level 206 is unusually musty and almost has a fog like appearance, most likely caused by the chalky nature of the level's structural makeup. The air itself is not inherently a risk to health. However, prolonged exposure to the dingy and claustrophobic air may prove a health risk to those already befallen to lung based health complications. Areas of the body. As previously described, level 206's layout follows that of a humanoid skeletal structure. This design, as figured out by approximately 7 different explorations, is that of an attempt to create a pseudo living organism capable of vague navigation throughout the Blue Channel. There are no sentient entities that are known to be the manager for level 206's construction, as the only living life connected to the level, besides the human majority groups that have explored the scape, are the usually aggressive, simplistic entities that undergo the level's construction. For this reason, the true motive for the construction of this body is unknown to the MEOD, and a vast amount of what is documented has either come from multiple hours of investigation, on site research, or simply just speculation done by experts in the field. The skull. Image caption: a view of the Blue Channel out of the eye of the skull. Image caption: the east-west spanning hallway within the head of level 206. Image caption: the general map for the shape of level 206's skull. The skull of level 206 is divided into 4 main areas of interest, those being the horizontal corridor, footnote, often referred to as the east-west corridor, end footnote, the vertical corridor, footnote, often referred to as the north-south corridor, end footnote, the eyes, and the wells, the lattermost of the above list encompassing both the equivalent of the ears and the nasal systems. Both of the hallways that comprise the head are long, singular corridors composed of the pulverized and fused bone materials described above. The east-west singular hallway is where wanderers entering the level will end up, as all 4 entrances to the level are located within this hall. Whilst offering little in visual decoration besides old and dry bones scattering the floor, there are 2 large openings within the wall close to the center of the east-west hallway that overlook a spiral shape in the wall behind, accumulating into a circular hole that looks outward and into the Blue Channel. This wall faces opposite the north-south/vertical hall that connects to the neck of level 206, and the holes are placed at such a distance so that said holes aren't visible if one is standing within the vertical hall. These holes only go to anywhere between the thigh and knee, depending on one's height, and can be climbed into to get inside of the eye. The eye is constructed of similarly pulverized and fused bones, and, unlike the usual structure of real eyes, is a rectangular and boxy space that can only fit about 1 person in its width. Here, as much as it is heavily advised against, one can choose to clamber out of the somewhat tight eye hole and exit into the Blue Channel. For reasons that will be elaborated on, doing this is heavily advised against, and will lead to inadvertent death. As described, the north-south hallway connects to the east-west hallway between the eyes. The vertical hallway within the skull seamlessly transitions into the neck of the spine, which is the next area wanderers will arrive at should they decide to venture further down. The spine. Image caption: the intersection after following the other hallway down from the top area. Image caption: the central hallway of level 206's spine, shown here connecting to the 14 ribs present on this level's geography. Image caption: a further continuation of level 206's map, displaying the rough overview for the spine. The spine, being the most central area for all of level 206, and acting as somewhat of a hub for the other areas, is a complex area of the level, and possesses the danger of the hip and leg structure below. Connected to the previously described hallway by a 4-way intersection, footnote, that also connects to the other explored areas of the level, end footnote, the center is the closest draw to a quote-unquote room within this level. However, its otherwise larger space is divided by walls of a similar height to those in the eyes within the skull. Footnote, however, much like the gaps in the walls for the eyes, these holes in the walls can be climbed into. However, this will not yield nor trigger any event. End footnote. Thus, creating a main pathway that's almost slimmer than the hallways that have come before it, but one that still feels wider than a majority of other rooms in the level. Image caption: the end of one of the many side hallways that connect to the center. As has been stated prior, the spine has multiple offshoots that all connect to different individual ribs. Unlike traditional ribs, however, these hallways do not connect and interlock to form an actual cage that would prototypically be used as a way to house organs. Instead, these hallways go in a practically straight line, with each one progressively getting shorter and shorter when looking at the different ribs from a north-south direction. Despite the gradual shortening in length, the rib structures all possess the exact same structure. Their walls, unlike all previously described walls up to now, possess that of a stereotypical and expected catacomb. The walls in question are that of various large bones, as well as countless skulls in various states of withering and fracturing. No matter the hall the individual chooses to venture down, each hallway culminates into a flat dead end, the end wall possessing the exact same composition as the other two walls on either side of the corridor. The arms. Image caption: a general representative image of what the shoulders and elbows in level 206 look like. Image caption: the left forearm of level 206. Image caption: an overview of the layout of both of the arms inside of this level. The arms are, at least relatively speaking, one of the most complex areas of level 206, possessing a comparatively complex room layout that, as one may expect, follows the general designs of a traditional humanoid arm bone structure. Much like the ribs of this level, a majority of the arm structure, with the exception of the hands, have their walls almost completely coated in arm, leg, rib, and skull bones, with the only fused bones being used for both the ceiling and flooring of these areas. Access to the arms is done by following either the east or west routes when at the intersection that connects the skull to the spine. Each of the horizontal corridors each lead to two identically laid out sets of rooms, with the only differences being the general placement of bones within the rooms that openly display them, and the fact that both arms are mirrored to upkeep symmetry. The first and third rooms of each side of the arms each resemble cylindrical, bone-filled rooms, being the shoulders and elbows of the body respectively. Despite their almost identical appearances, the shoulders and elbows share one notable difference between their different architecture. For the shoulders, the doorway into the lower portion of the level is placed at a 90-degree angle to either the left or the right, depending on which side one has chosen to go down. Footnote: the doorway into the latter parts of the arms will follow parallel to the direction of the spine. End footnote. For the elbows, the doorway will be placed on the opposite side of the room, directed at a 180-degree angle. The second and fourth rooms of the arms are similar in design to the hallway intersection that connects all areas of level 206 together and acts as the bridging points between the shoulders and the elbows, and the elbows to the hands. These hallways drag on virtually in a singular, straight line from room to room. The forearms, however, are somewhat of an exception to this rule, as the forearms of 206 follow an S-bend pattern before connecting to the base of the hand. Image caption: the base of the left hand, seen as one would when entering in from the forearms. Below the arm structures is a compound room, used as a nexus point for the various fingers of each hand. The roof within the main hand area is somewhat lower than most of the previous rooms, requiring certain taller individuals to duck when passing through its area. It is also distinct by the fact that its construction is not that of the overt, large bones. Instead, the hand, as well as its subsequent fingers and thumbs, are of the previously well established, fused, and unrecognizable smaller bones. This room, as is prototypical with human hands, connects to four three-jointed fingers and one two-jointed thumb each. However, depending on which side of the hands one may have chosen to explore, the direction of the hallway that is at a 90-degree angle to the previous hallway, as opposed to the 180-degree angle difference the other four share, will instead be flipped. Footnote: specifically pointing inwards and towards the spine. Image caption: the third joint of one of the fingers within level 206. Each of the fingers and thumbs are built out of almost identically designed pulverized bone rooms. They contain lights that are tucked back within indents in the walls and are illuminated via the same industrial lighting found present elsewhere in the level. Footnote: there is currently no known reason why the lights are hidden behind walls instead of in their usual arrangements. End footnote. At each end of each section of the finger/thumb, there is a turn in the doorways between one identical hall and the next, which tilts inwards towards the spine. This, however, only continues on for a total of 3 joints, or 2 if one is traveling through a thumb, before passageways come to an abrupt end. Footnote: as well as this, the fingers of level 206 will gradually begin to decrease in length, starting from the middle finger. End footnote. The unfinished lower structure. Image caption: a photo of the enshrouded below, pictured from within the center. Venturing below the spine leads individuals to by far the most dangerous lower portions of level 206's body, the area below the spine. The lower structure of level 206 is one that is barely lit, with all lights stopping approximately 6 meters after the final set of doorways that enter into the ribs. As with all of the central structure up to this point, the lower structure is made of the ground up, pulverized bone structure that a large majority of this level is made of. If one is to illuminate the lower areas with a flashlight, due to the above mentioned lack of any pre built light, one will eventually see the singular and thin hallway beginning to widen outwards into a large atrium like area. In this area, which has been correlated to being similar to hips, is where the native entities known as the sieved flesh reside. The entities, which have a thorough description written below, mainly reside within this area of level 206's body. Here, they store the flesh and meat off of either dead bodies they no-clip into this level, or from living beings that they lure. Footnote: this, however, has only happened twice in the known history of level 206. End footnote. The stench of the lower structure is unmistakably putrid and rotten, filled with the smell of rotting flesh that emanates from the exuberantly large piles of organic material that almost fills up the entire floor of the hip structure. Though it has only ever been achieved once, and was a process that subsequently led to the death of the individual who tried it, then 2 hallways of identical design to the upper and lower arms can be found at the left and right side of the southern portion of the hips. These, as one may guess, are the openings for the legs, which, at this point in time, remain in an unfinished state. Image caption: level 206's lowermost portion, specifically the right leg, presenting a direct view out into the blue channel. As it was only discovered on one of the more recent expeditions to level 206, the traversable skeleton currently rests in an incomplete state, with everything below the thighs being nothing more than stray bones needed for building material, and general open space that leads into the blue channel. Descending down this far into level 206 is not recommended, as the sieved flesh will most likely wish to kill and store any living being they come into contact with in their lair area. On top of the fact that level 206's current geography ends at this point, and jumping into the blue channel is practically suicide. It is unknown what, if anything at all, will commence when level 206's skeleton is finished. The sieved flesh. Level 206 is exclusively home to an abundance of fleshy, grotesque, formless blobs of organic components, all formed from both the bodies they rob and the various humans they kill both in and out of this level. These creatures are the ones responsible for building and expanding level 206, and have been doing so for a currently unknown amount of time. These creatures are fleshy, partially rotting collections of flesh and viscera, and have no set or defined structure besides their spiked, drill-like feet, which are composed of various fingernails, as well as incisor and canine teeth. These formations hold a surprising amount of structural integrity in comparison to their otherwise slime-like bodies. These formations of needle legs are used for quick moving and initial digging of buried bodies, as well as to be able to attack or harvest living creatures of their contents. To do this, these creatures will usually put 2 of their many legs side by side and imitate biting to graze and oftentimes rip off pieces of their prey. These creatures also have developed a form of superheating within these teeth, which is used both for construction and offensive means. As well as the above uses, the main purpose of these entities is to steal dead bodies and random wanderers from various levels via no-clipping them into whichever areas of the level are currently requiring construction and maintenance. To remove flesh from dead bodies, they will usually superheat the corpse's organic parts to melt the various surface features, as well as gut out the torso and head of its organs. When needing to maintain the walls that are of pulverized bones, they will do this via grinding up and superheating the smaller bodily bones until they mesh and blend together to create one uniform megastructure, and any seams are usually hidden via layering thin amounts of more bone mixture atop the recently created architecture. The sieved flesh are known to reproduce in a mostly asexual fashion, as they possess the eerie ability to be able to imbue life into the flesh mounds they leave within the hip area of the body. The selection of what flesh becomes personified is selectively chosen by the entities themselves, usually working on their own or in pairs to create new copies of themselves. The whole body. It is unknown at this time why level 206 is being built by the sieved flesh, and, as such, the danger it could bring is still unknown. Frequently, even after 6 months since the first knowledge of level 206, bodies from graveyards and random areas where people have died are still being robbed, albeit on a smaller and less daily schedule after the first documented exploration. As well as this, the exterior dimensions of the skeleton are non Euclidean and do not match the interior designs of the hallways. The interior dimensions of the hallways being altered, mainly within 206's skull, to accommodate being able to walk across the entirety of level 206's features with ease. From the outside, which is a view only witnessed twice by now deceased explorers, level 206 resembles that of a normal skeletal layout, albeit nearly 12 times the size of an average human body. The joints of different bones are all connected to one another, and look as though they swing and move in large, sweeping motions, whilst the entirety of the level plummets in a downwards direction. Footnote: downwards in relative to the floor of level 206 from the interior. End footnote. Due to the fact that this organism is in motion and has sometimes been witnessed to move in directions other than downwards, it is believed that level 206 is being built as some sort of inter-level transport vehicle. It is unknown whether the final result will be sentient, let alone even alive. However, the MEOD plans to keep level 206 in an active watch list, awaiting what further developments lie ahead for it. History. Level 206's existence was initially discovered in late 2025 when reports of a loiterer within a graveyard on Level 9, the suburbs, unveiled various open and defiled graves with the contents of the deceased within them stolen. After two investigators were sent out to investigate, Sally Warwell and Sky Wilkins, footnote, the former of which inadvertently fell into level 206 and died days later, end footnote, several more cases on level 2, abandoned utility halls, level 29, Hyperion, level 94, Motion, level 121, the Fading Islands, level 125, Legacy Lane, level 138, Golden Guy, level 309, The Fog in the Path, and level 436, Salvaged Seaboard, happened as well, under identical circumstances to the initial case on level 9, the suburbs. After gathering enough evidence about the commodities of these locations, being the fact that they were extremely lived in levels, multiple 3-person exploration teams were sent to level 11.1, Private Enterprise, level 186, the Infinite Valley, level 194, You Wouldn't Download a Rainforest, level 230, the Port of Misgivings, and level 260, Aurora Liminalis. Footnote: all of which were also lived in and established levels, end footnote, in order to try and catch another grave robbing before it occurred, and no-clip into the level alongside the desecrating entities. After being pulled in by the no-clipping abilities of the sieved flesh, the field investigator, footnote, known as Alex Pater, who was one of the individuals who established level 100, Silent Sounds, as a discovered level, end footnote, was able to explore the left arm, the spine, and the left side of the head of level 206 before becoming overrun by sieved flesh. However, much to the initial panic of the other two members of his team, the investigator survived via fleeing to level 205, the Grove of Clones. After this initial exploration, level 206 was explored a further 6 times between the dates of 01/12/2025 and 18/03/2026. Footnote. Both of these are day/month/year, end footnote, which is what led to the discovery of the other 3 exits, the exploration of the right arm, despite its identicalness to the leftmost one, the discovery of the under construction areas, more understanding of the sieved flesh, and other important aspects to understanding the mechanics of level 206. Bases, outposts, and communities. Due to the lack of supplies, limited space, and the fact that level 206 is a general hub for the recycling of humans, bases, outposts, and communities, as well as general towns and villages, have not and will not be established. Entrances and exits. Level 206, prior to the various explorations where easier access and egress was discovered, was initially only accessible via the grave robbing described within the history section. However, after the first documented exploration of level 206 was completed, footnote, technically, a prior expedition was done by Sally Warwall. However, due to her exploration not being recorded before her demise, it is not counted as the quote-unquote first exploration, end footnote. 4 quote-unquote wells were discovered that each lead to another level. Those wells, the side of the hallway they exist on, and their physical descriptions are listed below. Before the actual entrances and exits are listed, it must be noted that the blue channel is technically an exit if one chooses to either leap out of this level at the uncompleted legs or via climbing out of the eyes. This method of exit is not recommended, mainly due to the speeds that the 206 body travels at, which will cause wanderers who leave the skeleton to become quickly abandoned within the blue void, and eventually perish. Level 165, the Garden of Eden. The exit for level 165, as with all currently known exits, besides the technical exit of the blue channel, is placed along the horizontal corridor that all wells and entrances/exits are on. The well for level 165 is hidden behind the neck corridor used to enter the skull. Footnote. However, this well is only accessible from the Fork Road, end footnote, and can easily be identified due to an almost sweet aroma from the various plants of level 165 emanating down the well. As with all entrance wells to 206, with the exception of 205, the Grove of Clones, 205's exit, due to a lack of geography in the aforementioned level, the well to enter level 206 from level 165, the Garden of Eden, is hidden against 2 of the perimeter fence corners. It is placed rather close to a rainbow door that would otherwise lead to level 255, Death Factory. However, its position behind multiple oak trees still keeps its location somewhat hidden from those not diligent enough to see it. Level 169, Welcome to the Desert. Similar to 165, the Garden of Eden, 165's entrance and exit, the exit to level 169, Welcome to the Desert, from level 206 and vice versa, is found within the rightmost section of the horizontal hallway within the skull, existing at the very end of the hallway at the ear. The exit to this level is usually covered with blown-in sands from the dry deserts, making it easily identifiable from a distance, though it can be easily confused with the portion of level 288, the well, that resides within the center of level 169, Welcome to the Desert. The entrance and exit to/from level 206 can easily be identified as being separate from the well, due to its geographical position. The well on 169 is hidden between/behind an array of slim canyon pillars towards the eastern area of 169's finite land. Level 205, the Grove of Clones. Level 205, as with all of this level's wells, acts as both a mutual entrance and exit to/from level 206 through a singular well that exists within both levels. Within level 206, the well exit exists within the leftmost corridor, tucked behind the wall closest to the entrance hallway from the spine. This aforementioned well, should one decide to enter it, will deposit oneself into level 205. It must be noted, however, that using this method of exit, the thin nature of the well may cause injury if one does not use it at the right angle, or if one moves too much whilst inside of it. On level 205 side, the well exists approximately 400 meters from the chain link fence on the southern side, with the second nearest neighboring fence being the eastern one at 850 meters. When using this method of exit, the same precautionary methods must be taken. Footnote: enter the well at a straight angle, and do not move whilst inside the well. End footnote. Level 37. Sublimity. Within the same left corridor as the above entrance and exit, though specifically at the end of the hallway, is a singular room at a somewhat lower elevation to the rest of the level. Footnote: only being around 10 to 15 centimeters lower. End footnote. Here, a well to level 37 is placed, residing in the place of an quote unquote ear. Its casing is entirely flooded, as is the surrounding ground around it, making the only way to use this exit swimming. Should one do so, one will arrive at level 37. Within level 37 itself, the well is practically impossible to find. To the best knowledge of investigators, and in congruency with the well exits on other levels, the well on 37 is one of a kind. Due to the infinite and often non Euclidean nature of this level, finding the well after leaving it is practically impossible. Because of this, the well on level 37 is not a practical entrance to level 206, and shall not be considered as such. Hey Fritz. Lake? I didn't think we'd speak. Certainly not on direct line. It's an easy way to message you, really. I wanted to talk. About what? I'm all ears. Have you looked at the draft on the level we explored? I think it's called level 206 now. Oh, yeah, I did actually. My mind's still racking over 118 that I almost forgot that that got published. What's up about it? Nothing about the page itself. Just worried, I guess. I thought the explorations would come to more than what's been discovered. What we know is a lot, but there's still things that our explorations don't know. You're worried about that? In case what we don't know about 206 is dangerous, yeah. This is something flying across the blue channel, clearly being made by someone, for possibly sinister reasons. We know a lot, but the who made it is still a question on my mind, and to what end this body is being used for when it gets completed. God, I haven't even thought about what it could do when it's completed. Hey, Lake, calm down. It's okay. I get you're worried. There are a lot of things going on right now, and we're not in a good place to be able to sort it all out now. But I know things will be okay. Even if we could be dealing with something apocalyptic? I'd say calling it that is a bit of a stretch. Well, we don't know what else it could be. This thing could be like if 811, Titanus Sepulchrum, 118's machines got repaired and activated. For Christ's sakes, doesn't that worry you? It does. Believe me. I took the time to quickly message a few people, and apparently more investigations are going to be underway, mainly to see how the lower portion of the body is going to be built, and also to observe its entities more. That doesn't sound like it's going to get us any closer to knowing the scale of what's going on with it. You're right, it won't. But without a big boss or anything controlling what's going on behind the scenes, we're kinda stumped on that. Best we can do is wait, I suppose. I'm sure answers will come up. I guess. I get the feeling you're still nervous about it. Look, if the answers turn out to be really bad, or if something cataclysmic happens, I trust we'll be okay. If nothing else, we're protected. You have far too much trust in the MEOD. I have enough to know what they're at. You have far too much trust in the MEOD. I have enough to know that their acts are genuine, and that they have our backs. Why don't I come see you? Are you at home? We can talk and manage things that way. Yeah, I'm just at home. It's not too far for you to come, is it? Not at all. I'll be there in an hour or so. See ya then. See ya.